welcome back to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. I'm here with co-host
Stan Morncini.
Ooh, Watson Bradshaw.
And I am obviously. Sorry, not obviously. That's not a thing.
I'm an advocate for your obviously.
Yes.
Chad Cook. That's me.
Welcome, Chad Cook.
Thank you. I've arrived.
Yeah.
My body got here before my brain and mouth did.
Oh, outstanding.
Yes.
Everyone's here for your body.
Body. Everybody wants this. I'm not going to go into that.
All right.
No?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, people don't want the Chad Cook body?
No. You know,
You can find it on
supple,
OnlyFans.
moist. That's me, supple and moist.
Like
What else needs to be said?
Like a nice souffle.
I was
A nice
thinking more like
bouche.
a mango.
Don't leave Chad in the sun too long. Much like a mango.
Much like a mango.
Huh. I thought it would be tropical fruit, so that's good to be in the sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can cut them and then they go bad.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know.
Yeah.
Now we all learned something today.
We all learned something.
The more you know.
Ding. There's a rainbow
Yeah.
passing over us right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think we were talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, my
I've
God.
lost my
Oh,
mind.
my God. Yes, welcome back, everybody. I think we should start off by saying a few words about Val Kilmer.
Yes.
We started off in such a weird place, and we're going straight to the in memoriam.
We have
segment.
to. We got to before anything else.
We're
we
going.
gotta-
We're going right into the danger zone.
Oh man, and we're not keeping it top secret.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Mhm.
That's good.
Wait,
So
did he?
yeah, he was in the movie Top Secret.
Oh, okay.
Guys, you got to quit being a saint. Could be.
That was good.
That's good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish I had money like Bruce Wayne to pass out for that joke. That wasn't as good, but
No,
whatever.
that's okay.
It's okay.
That's
I didn't know we were
That's
doing
all right.
this. I didn't know we were
Yeah.
doing this.
Sultancy. There you go. That's all.
There you go. But yes, our condolences to Val Kilmer and his family.
Yeah.
And we'll miss you, man.
Yeah, a true legend, and
Yeah.
just it was shock because I mean, like he'd battled cancer just a few years ago,
Long time, yeah.
and
Yeah.
looked like he was good, and out of the woods of that, and
Yeah.
apparently his family said it was a problem with pneumonia.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
Pneumonia could lead to throat cancer?
No.
No,
it's-
he's
that's
so
what
lead to
passed-
death.
Oh, sorry.
Pneumonia
I was-
ends up like taking out a lot of people who are weakened by
Yeah.
diseases. Yeah,
Jeez.
unfortunately. Yeah.
The because I remember his Mark Twain show. I always
Yeah.
wanted to go to it, but it was
Yeah.
never like out here.
He
Or-
performed at Pasadena Playhouse. I want to say, probably like a decade ago now.
Jeez, yeah.
Were you there? 'Cause
I was
you
there
worked
for that. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think
did?
I was out
Yeah.
here yet. but-
Did you have any Val Kilmer experiences?
I didn't personally know,
Mhm.
but I know people that did.
Mhm.
He was very meticulous,
can see that.
and could be seen as very, very troublesome for some of the crew members, is what I've heard. But not my stories to share. But
yeah.
We'll leave that at
you saw him,
Tombstone.
you interacted around him.
I was there during that time. I don't think I spent because it was like when I just started there, so
okay.
I did a little bit of lighting beforehand.
Okay, cool.
But I wasn't there for the shows or anything.
Nice.
But he famously he played Moses on the Ten Commandments show.
Yeah.
He did a lot of stage work,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you guys seen the documentary Val
Yeah.
that he put out.
Mhm.
He was just like videotaping his whole life pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And like even he's kind of was like, I was a bit of a dick back then.
Yeah, it's because towards the end he's kind of trying to make up for
yeah,
being
like he
difficult with people. Yeah.
he would called himself a prima donna, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So I might watch that again actually, because I was looking online to see. I was like, what Val Kilmer movies are out? After I heard about his passing, and like Heat is on Netflix right now, so I watched
Of course,
that.
yeah.
I mean, the guy did some amazing work.
So
like,
much good stuff.
we always talk about Willow. Like
Yep.
he's a standout in that movie.
and Mardigan, one of my
Yeah.
favorite characters ever.
Yeah, just it's a fantasy Han
Yeah.
Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
And he, the Saint. Weirdly, I loved the Saint growing
Yeah.
up. Like
It was
I
always on
totally-
TV.
yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, and just of course his version of Batman. He, probably they make a joke of it on the Ricky Gervais show with Warwick Davis.
Oh yeah.
Had a whole bit where
Life is short.
Life is Short, yeah, where Val Kilmer would show up in like a Batman cowl, and everyone's like, I don't know who that is.
It's like, who is he?
Yeah. He's Batman. He was Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, Christian Bale? No, it's not Christian Bale. Like, it's a funny bit.
I never saw that.
Oh,
That's
it's
awesome.
great. Yeah.
And obviously the famous role of Doc Holliday.
Oh my God, that's Tombstone. Yeah.
Tombstone.
I mean, and it's funny that
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yeah. People forget there was 2 Wyatt Earp movies that came out the same year.
Time, yeah.
And Dennis Quaid did Doc Holliday. Mouth don't work, dude. In that version, in the Kevin Costner version.
Yeah.
And no one remembers it. You know, it's like, and it's a shame. He lost all the weight, he did all the same prep. But Val Kilmer just had that certain something that's like, that is now like cemented as that version of Doc Holliday. You know, it's like, yeah.
No, nothing against Dennis Quaid. I just all I remember is the coughing.
Yeah,
Obviously for the character's sake, but I mean he did a good job. Like I do like Wyatt Earp as a movie itself, but Tombstone's a whole different animal. So it's like
they're definitely they have 2 different attitudes.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, one is definitely more serious than the other.
Yeah.
And then it's funny. Val Kilmer many years later, maybe about 10 years ago, again 15 years ago, did a Stories of Wyatt Earp movie where he played Wyatt Earp.
Oh, really?
It was like a direct to DVD kind of
I
thing.
know that.
I didn't hear about
my
that.
sister-in-law's in it. So
okay.
she had a couple of scenes with him and stuff.
Cool. Did she have stories?
I don't know. Yeah, it was very much just like she was on a job. So
Went down,
yeah. I never pushed.
And like he started with a lot of comedy, and then he near the end he did some comedy with MacGruber.
Oh,
and everything.
yeah,
Like,
MacGruber is great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think still one of my
Kiss
favorite.
Kiss Bang Bang.
That was
Kiss,
like
Bang,
one of my
yeah.
favorite performances of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah.
He's so good in that, and plays it so well.
Yeah, it's crazy how much stuff he did.
Yeah,
It's like we keep pulling stuff up. Oh yeah, and
right. I mean, like like little things that like he was the voice of Kit on the
the
2015
show,
Knight Rider
yeah.
show.
totally forgot about that. Yeah,
You know,
Yep.
like
my God,
he was in our lives pretty much their entire
all the
lives.
time.
You know?
Yep.
And so, and like, of course, once, with the throat cancer, he lost his voice, and that was hard. And then he got really into doing art, and, his art pieces are beautiful.
Yeah.
He did some amazing work. And so they will be missed.
Yeah, definitely. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. We'll miss you.
Oh, we didn't even say the Doors.
We
Like,
played
that's
Morrison.
a big one too. Yeah, with Jim Morrison. It was
Holy
just-
shit! Yeah. Jeez. Got so much stuff. Yeah. He will certainly be missed, but he'll definitely never be forgotten. So
Yeah.
Yes.
and so let's just jump into some of the stuff that we've seen. I think one of the biggest ones that's out right now. I guess I don't want to say the sacrifice that Watson did for us, but
I did. Yeah.
he kind of made it sound like he sacrificed. He went to go see the Minecraft movie.
I went to see the Minecraft movie today.
By yourself?
By myself.
Okay,
At
were
2
there
o'clock.
there were a million kids in there?
No, actually, the place was empty.
Oh, really?
I think, as much as I know, this movie made a crap ton of money this weekend. Like, I think it outgrossed opening weekend for Mario Brothers, didn't it?
I
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, like it performed really high, and from what I read, they had very low expectations. Warner Bros. Had very low expectations
Really?
for this one.
For this?
Well, because the pre-sales were not doing great.
I see.
But it's like kids don't pre-sale. Like they don't go online and buy tickets.
Right.
So I think everyone was kind of shocked and how big a movie this has become.
Yeah, so its budget's 150 million and it grossed 336 million this
In opening weekend.
Open weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it became so big because it was like meme-ified online before it came out.
Yeah.
And it was just off of Jack Black alone. Like
He's
from the trailer.
He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot in this movie.
No,
He's very Jack Black.
Oh my god, he's full Jack Black in this. It's so I wanted to go in hating this thing because I saw the trailer, with everyone. I was like, okay, it just looks like people in green screen.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going, oh, it's a Minecraft world. So I went in with very low expectations. I asked my kid, because I picked up my kid from school at noon, and I was like, okay, do you want to go see Minecraft movie? And he very calmly just was like, no. And I was like, really? And he's like, no, it's too creepy.
Oh.
Because there's sections where the creepers show up and stuff
true.
like that. And for my kid's 6, I'm like, that's okay. All right. Fair's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, fine, I'll go see it by myself. be that weirdo, just single ticket.
You're a normal human being, damn it.
I know. Well,
don't you say that about yourself.
So I go in a theater, and it's just me in one seat, and there's like a family like 5 rows behind me. Okay, and I'm like, okay, because this was at the Regal, and they had multiple screens showing it. So I'm like, and they had the 4DX version, so I'm sure those ones were packed.
The parents are telling their kids, "See that guy right there?
Yeah,
stay
away from him. Yeah. He's not allowed near schools." But I won't lie, I had a really good time with it.
Yeah,
I think it feels like there's a lot of this movie missing. Like it's a very tight movie. It's like an hour 40.
Wow. Okay.
It's real tight. The storyline is real tight. It's the director of Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre is directing this.
Jared Hess.
Yeah. He's directing this. There's a lot of Flight of the Conchords guys in this.
Oh.
And the jokes are very. I mean, I love Nacho Libre, and I love.
Same here.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, and like Jared Hess is really good at that kind of world building. And the funny stuff for me was not the stuff in the Minecraft world. Yeah. It's all the stuff in the first 20 minutes when they're in just the regular world. Mm-hmm. Like all the characters that he creates, like even people that are just on screen for a minute. Mm-hmm. Like there's this great one. So the main characters, obviously, you're introduced to Steve, who is a young boy who has always wanted to go in the mines for some reason, and he's wearing his blue shirt, his blue pants.
Before, does Minecraft the video game exist in the real world?
Oh, in the world of the movie?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, okay. Because I thought they went into the video game.
Oh, no, it's not Jumanji setup.
Okay.
No, so yeah.
So what do you mean he wants to go in the mines? Like actual mines?
He wants to go to actual mines, yeah.
Like actual coal mines and shit?
So you see him so you see him with a pickaxe.
Why?
Waiting outside the mine. There's an old man guarding the mine going get out of here, kid.
Why does he want to go in the mines?
Doesn't say.
Okay.
It's eventually he wants to go in the mines.
Most kids just want to be miners.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, get blank lung and...
Yeah, so
that's been my dream for years.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But they shut down the mine, so I can't go.
There you go. That's the problem with this country.
No black lung for you.
No, none for me.
So
I bought a canary and everything, man. Just
there's a lot of this movie, you just kind of got to go with it.
I'm sure.
You just got to be like, that's the logic of the movie. Okay.
Because I would assume, since you've never played Minecraft...
I've played a little, but I wouldn't call myself a crafter.
Not enough to get all the inside jokes.
No, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, I heard there's... Yeah.
There's, and they do a good job of trying to explain as much of it as they can, because, there's a whole prologue. So Jack Black's a kid. He tries to go into a mine. They won't, the old man won't let him. He gets a regular job. He grows up. And then he realize how bored he is in real life. He's working an office job, and then he's like, let me live my dream again and go back to the mine. So he goes, dresses up in his little mine gear, goes in the mine, finds this cube. It's almost it looks like the cosmic cube, basically. This blue growing cube, and it fits into a crystal piece and creates a portal to the Minecraft world. Mm-hmm. And he jumps through the portal and goes there. And while there, he realizes, it's a place where your imagination, basically being creative is a great thing in this world. You can just make anything, So he starts living there, finds that there's another portal that leads to the Netherverse. So that's there's where all the pig zombie, the piglets live.
Uh-huh.
And they want the stone that he has, because then they can come up to the outer world, is what they call it, the Minecraft world, and they can kind of take it over, because they've ruined the netherworld by mining too much gold.
Okay.
So Jack Black has a pet wolf named Dennis that he gives the orb to, and is like, get out of here, Des. Go to the real world and hide the stone in my bedroom, and get out of here, and I'll keep the pig people at bay. Mm-hmm. Dennis runs out, gets to the portal, goes to the real world. Then we cut to years sometime later. They don't really say when. And we meet our protagonists, so these two kids that are driving into town. It's their first time basically within a 2-minute conversation in the car, you find out their parents are dead, that the sister has been charged to raise the brother, who's like in high school. She's maybe 20, 21.
Yeah, they look very young.
She's very young.
I thought she was like a kid.
I thought so too. Yeah, I was surprised when she's driving the car going like, I had to get a job at a potato chip factory. And like, we're living in a house. Like, they have a house in, it's like, it's all very like, what happened here? And so they, the kid is like, he's very creative. He has like a little sketchbook. He's like sketching, sci-fi stuff, you know. And like, she's just like, don't be weird and try to make friends at school. And she goes to her job as being the social media manager of this chip factory. And he decides like he's walking to school and sees there's a video game store. Like it's old vintage arcade store.
Right.
Yeah.
And he goes inside, and that's where you meet Jason Momoa's character of the Garbage Man, they call him, because he was like the champion of a video game back in like 1989.
Yeah.
And so he's been living off kind of that fame for a while. He's like, but he's like losing his business. He's running out of money. You see like he's got eviction notices. And like, basically he's like, I'm going to train you, kid. Like, I $50 a session. I'll teach you how to win at life, kind of thing. And Momoa is great in it. He's kind of, everyone's hamming it up to crazy level. Yeah. But like, he's very much like the Uncle Rico, character of like a guy who peaked way early. Yeah. And then he's just kind of living off the fame of that. And there's some references to Napoleon Dynamite. The kid keeps like tater tots on him, and he's like, "I'm supposed to give these out at school to make friends." And like Jason Momoa was like, "Leave the tater tots. You're not gonna make friends that way," kind of thing. And it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
The kid goes to school. First you meet like the principal, which is Jennifer Coolidge, is in this film. She's great. She talks about like how she got divorced six months ago, and. So then, he like goes to class. And it's an art class, and it's like still life. So they're like, just draw this like banana and a orange. Yeah. And he draws like a banana with a jetpack, And they're like, it's still life. You're not supposed to be. Yeah. Don't be creative. That's the whole kind of vibe, right? And he's like, I can make this happen. And they're like, no, you can't. So he like builds a jetpack to like be like, I can do this, which is like what? And. Some of the kids are like a little intimidated or just bullying him, so they like, cut one of the wires. The jetpack goes off, it flies through the air, hits the giant chip like big potato chip mascot at the chip plant, which while the sister's in work, and like destroys like part of the plant, and like he gets in trouble. And he's like, the principal's like, we gotta call your relative to come pick you up. And he decides, like, instead of calling his sister, because he knows he's in trouble, he's going to call Momoa's character and be like, can you pretend to be my uncle? He's like, not my first time, sure. And so he picks him up from school. Jeff Coolidge and him have this great little exchange. Because he's like, you're the garbage, or she's like, you're the trash bag, and he's like, I'm the garbage man. And she's like, you could put my cans out any day, but be careful because there's raccoons in them, and just ridiculous. I mean, just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoever divorced you was an idiot,
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous. And so basically he ends up at the store, finds the crystal, puts that together, ends up like going towards the mine where the portal is. Meanwhile, the sister's looking for her brother, and it's like panicking. And then the real estate agent that got them the house is like, "Oh, I'll help you." So they end up following the kid. They go into the Minecraft world.
Okay,
right?
Of course.
Okay.
At this point, Jack Black has been captured by the pig guys, and the main pig is like, look, if you find the crystal, we'll give you your dog back, kind of thing. And he's like, okay. So you think like Jack Black's gonna like betray them? Spoilers, he doesn't. But like Steve finds him and like he's like, okay, and like the crystal container that holds the cube in it gets damaged, gets destroyed, and so they have to go find another one. And he's like, the only other one's in this mansion down, past the mines and all that.
Yeah.
And like Jason Momoa's like, what mines? He's like, oh, there's diamond mines. There's tons of diamonds here. There's treasure. And so Jason Momoa's like, well, take us to that and I'll give you the cube kind of thing. So you think he's going to betray. Yeah, spoiler, he doesn't. And then so like, and the boy realized like this is a world where his imagination really works. Like within his first time there, he's building like towers and stuff like that. Uh-huh. And like Steve's like, you're probably, you've got the gift of the craft. And it's just ridiculous.
No,
so
of course.
It's them versus the pig people trying to get this crystal. It's very simple storytelling, nothing too crazy. But it does feel like, and there's a lot of fun little B stories and stuff. Like one of the villagers gets out and ends up in the real world and goes on.
Yeah, I saw in the trailer.
Yeah, it goes on a date with Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, of course.
And no one seems to bother that he's got a big square head.
Yeah, of course not.
I like the pig people call all the humans rounds. Like, they're round people. But yeah, it just, it kind of, it's, so I wish, it's weird to say not a lot of crafting in the Minecraft movie.
Really?
There's a lot of go fetch.
Yeah.
But it's like we gotta suit up and get our stuff together. Luckily, I got this room full of stuff. So they just go into a room and he's already got like axes and diamond swords and all that stuff. I'm like, shouldn't a big part of the movie be like putting that together?
True. Yeah.
Like that's kind of the game.
Crafting. Yeah.
And it's kind of hinted at, but there's not a lot of it in the movie. It's a lot of just like, ooh, check out these like, shoes of swiftness, which is like, it's a thing in the game. Hey, or like they end up, going to the mansion to go find the thing, and they end up getting in a boxing match with the chicken, right? Everyone knows the chicken jockey stuff that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like Jack Black's like, a chicken jockey, and like,
Did you
just
throw your popcorn around?
Just me in the one room. Like,
yeah, throwing popcorn around.
That's been a big thing's been happening this weekend. Is like cops have been getting called on screenings.
What's happening?
Okay,
so the theater is like filled with, I don't know.
Yeah,
I forget
teens, preteens.
Teens, and then they wait for certain scenes in the movie to like
explode.
Yeah. But the one they really go crazy for is when Jack Black says chicken jockey, and then everyone's got like bags of popcorn and
they're just throwing it
everywhere.
Someone brought a live chicken to a theater.
Oh yeah, So it's just like it
just released
released a live chicken.
And then like cops have been called at least on one of them.
Yeah,
and
they
like,
stopped movies.
You're not allowed back here ever again and stuff like that. So I feel bad for the
staff.
They got to clean
all
that
that
shit
shit
up.
up.
It's crazy, but it's so funny because it's like this was all pre-planned. Like it's all been planned out way before the movie came out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And they're just like, at this point, we're gonna go nuts.
So like, then I think is that part of the game, going crazy when somebody says
no. It's just
because it's a huge part of the game.
I think one group of people did it once, and then everybody saw that. It's like, we want to do it, and they're
unfortunately now it's a meme. It's a
challenge.
Exactly, it's a nice ice bucket challenge for this generation. Yeah. But it kind of sucks. So that's been going on, but
I mean, you were lucky, I guess, at the middle of the day. Maybe it's more of a night showing.
I mean, like I said, the screening I went to was pretty empty. I don't think this movie's gonna have legs. I don't know if it's gonna last.
Make it to the next weekend.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think
I've heard that too.
I mean, I feel like it had that big pop, but I don't think it doesn't. It's
gonna have a fast rise and fall.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a lot of multi-viewing of it.
Right.
So
did Mario have a long run?
It did. Yeah, Mario lasted a while. Yeah, okay. But I think it was it was like the only kids movie out for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But this is not really, because it's more preteen movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not one of the things that are gonna be like, I want to go again. I want to go again.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's an hour 40. There's not real. This thing about Minecraft is like there's not really a story mode in Minecraft. You
just go in there and build shit. Right?
You go and build shit. Yeah, exactly. But it's like Lego Movie is the same. I mean, Lego has the same thing, but they were able to craft a really strong story
around it. Yeah,
you know, and and I don't feel like pee a little bit in that cup.
Yeah, just a little bit.
We like it.
That was my liquid death in the cup. I stopped as soon as.
Sure, that's what you call it. Smells like liquid death. You gotta go see a.
Hey, I'm crafting something over here, bro. Can I craft? Shit.
Yeah,
some flint and steel.
Yeah.
So stupid. But yeah, I mean, I
chicken jockey.
Everyone seems to be having a good time making this movie. The stuff with like Jason Momoa and Jack Black are insane,
right?
And I would love to see them do like a buddy cop movie or something after this.
I think it'd be awesome to see
because they've got really great chemistry.
That's great,
good to see.
And
we're not getting a lot of comedies lately, so I hope that'd be awesome if we got something like that.
I felt bad because I felt like their storyline was strong. Like the sisters and the real estate lady, like they get left behind in half the movie. Like they get forced to split up, and then it's like their storyline goes nowhere. Yeah, and then they all meet up back at the end. You know,
right?
So it just feels like there shouldn't be that many characters. Like I know a lot of people are like, it should have just been a Steve story. But I feel like it was like, oh, like all these kids films now, you need a group. You know, and you want your kid. And that's the thing too. It's like, so this kid is in the movie who's like, hey, this kid's really good at crafting, and it's like it never really comes back up. Like he builds a jetpack in real life, but he doesn't do it in the Minecraft world.
Well, so I've also heard that like who's the main, like I've heard this about the story, like who's the main character? Is it Jack Black, or is it the kid, or is it, because it's supposed to be the kid, you would think?
Yeah,
but
there
like,
really isn't one.
He kind of gets pushed to the side because of Jack Black and
it becomes a two-hander between Momoa and Jack Black, and then they kind of take up a lot of the chunk of the time on screen.
You're gonna say something, Chad? Or?
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, like this. Having not seen it though, but like from what you described, I'd say this is a better option than the typical route movies would take, where from the video game, Steve has to go to the real world to get something, and then he's out of it,
and that's
water.
I mean, I honestly, that's what I expected from it. I didn't expect a lot. Yeah. I was just like, you know, it's a cash grab kind of movie. It felt that way from the trailer of just like, okay, we're using Minecraft. You know, it's like the Emoji Movie, or you know, one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it. I think it plays really. It's got a great cast, a great director, can really change, and I think he had. The director knew the assignment of like, okay, I gotta hit all these notes when we're in the Minecraft world, but when we're in the human world, that's the world I want to focus on and make funny, you know, and it comes off that way. There's a lot of good beats in that moment, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, I mean.
So you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I think, you know, you got to go in knowing, like, it's not going to, you know, make you cry. It's not going to change your mind about
anything. It's not going to make you contemplate life.
No, not at all.
Did it leave room for a sequel to take place?
That's a good question.
Slightly, yeah. I mean, like, I guess so.
Depending on how this is going to do, they're going to give.
Yeah, a sequel. Like if it breaks a certain amount.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get another.
I mean, it does have a wrap up epilogue about how all their lives are better at the end. You know, like.
Well, I mean, Steve stays in.
No, Steve goes back to real world. Like he kind of realizes, like, because it's
spoilers.
Spoilers. You know, the kid is like, you know, like you should take some of this magic, because he's like, Steve wanted to stay, and he's like, I can do anything out here, and the kid's like, you should take some of that magic to the real world. And so he decides to go through and works with Momoa in his vintage store.
All right, cool.
And they do a lot of songs.
Now, do they call him Garbage Man because that's the name of the video game that he used to play?
So he played a video game called, I think it's like Hunk Heroes or something like that. And like his move was like taking the character. It was like kind of like a side-scrolling Double Dragon kind of game. And like the move that made him famous was he would take a character and like dump him into a garbage can. And he was like really good at that move. So and it's like Garrett. His name's like Garrett Garrettson or something. So it's Garrett the Garbage Man Garrettson.
Nice.
Oh, his character.
Yeah,
Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison.
So it's like.
So what's with all the flamboyant jackets he wears? That's just his style.
His style, yeah, because he was a hit. You know, he was a big deal 80s. In 1989. Yeah, and he just doesn't change. He's got the same denim with the fringe and the hair and
the tassels and all
that.
And
he drives a Pontiac GT. You know, like
hey, if it works, no need to
exactly.
Change
so he's just stuck in 1989.
Kind of, yeah. Okay. Like the world has passed him by.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm stuck in the 90s, pal.
There you go.
We all are, Chad. We all are. Take me back, dude. Take me back. So do you recommend it?
I recommend it.
Yeah. Even if somebody that doesn't even know what the fuck Minecraft is?
I think they do a good job kind of explaining the rules of the world.
Okay.
There's some stuff that's like so when the kid shows up, first thing he like hits a tree and he gets the little tree block out of it, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's like just building stuff like unlimited supply.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think in Minecraft, like if you hit a tree, like you get like one block, right? Like it's not like you have an unlimited supply of wood or whatever. So some of the rules go fast and loose, but you know, it just I think it's fun. I think it's a fun movie. I don't think you need to see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
The Minecraft world looks really beautiful. They did a great job of like making that world, because it could have just looked like the game, which is very like 8-bit blocky look.
Yeah.
But they gave it some texture and zhuzhed it up a bit.
Yeah, I've never understood the appeal of Minecraft. I think it looks really weird and but people love it though.
Well,
so hey, good for them.
It's an open sandbox. You can do whatever you want.
I respect it. Like the stuff people build in that is crazy.
And it's smart. It was smart on the makers to do it so low res, because then you could really go crazy before your computer basically burns out.
Right.
So that's why they went because it's not like Skyrim or anything like that. But yeah, so it was good. It was a fun time. I had a good time. I was laughing at moments. I was cackling to myself a few times.
Nice.
Alone in a theater. Just,
we all do it at one point in our lives.
Yeah.
So go see it.
You're like Robert De Niro and
exactly just smoking.
Smoking
a stogie.
I would, if that'd be hilarious. I know. Obviously, the preteens wouldn't be old enough, or probably have never seen Cape Fear.
I doubt it.
One of them just dresses up like him and is smoking.
Guy's got his feet up on the chair.
Yeah, just laughing at Minecraft.
You'd get it. You see the kid.
Yeah, I'd be like,
he pointed at him and just be like, yeah.
And you'd say,
I got
stay
you,
away
kid.
from that guy.
But I'd also be like, no one's sitting here.
Cool, Minecraft movie. Check it out. The movie that I saw recently was Woman in the Yard.
Woman in the Yard.
Which is a interesting take. So how they market, they haven't really been marketing this film very well. But how they marketed was this kind of, in a way, typical kind of horror movie of this, what looks like a ghost that's or some kind of spirit that's in the yard that's haunting this family and is after them for...
Lady in a black dress.
Lady in a black dress. It's, I mean, if you've seen the posters for it, it's just literally a lady in the yard, sitting there covered in black.
Wait, I gotta ask a question though. The bench that she's on, did that come with her, or is there just a bench?
So there is an explanation for everything that you see on this lady. So at first it stars. It's not a well-known cast. Diana Deadweiler plays Ramona, who is the mother of the two kids. There's 4 people in this film, based 5, but basically there's the mom, the 2 kids, and the woman in the yard. The woman is I'm going to butcher this, I'm sorry, Okwi Akapasali, and then David, who is Ramona's husband, played by Russell Hornsby. The 2 kids are Peyton Jackson as Tater and Estella Kahiha as Ani. I'm sorry, I'm butchering these names. But anyhow, so the movie starts off with Ramona and her 2 kids in the house. The father, David, has just recently passed away. We later find out that it was through a car accident. The car itself, the vehicle, is still in the yard, where I guess it was towed after the accident. It's completely destroyed. Ramona has had her leg broken from the accident, so the entire film that she's in a cast. The entire film takes place in the span of basically a day. Right? Okay. So, but we get a lot of backstory on what happened between Ramona and David and how it's affecting the family. So obviously, the day begins, and all of a sudden they see this woman sitting in the yard, and the kids, from you see from the trailer, they're like, "There's a woman in the yard. What's going on?" Ramona goes out there, and she's like, "What's going on, ma'am? Do you need some help? Like, who are you?" And the woman says, "How did I get here?" And she's like, "I don't know. I think that's you're the one that showed up at my property. Right. So if you could leave, that'd be great." That's when you hear from what you see in the trailers. The woman says, "Today's the day." Yeah, she kind of says that. So you're thinking. So from the trailer, what we got, it seems like, again, like a spirit that's haunting this family. Yeah. My first impression was and she also says in the trailer, she says in the movie, I was summoned here. Basically, is what the woman in the yard tells Ramona. So you think it's like, okay, what happened? There's obviously more of a backstory between what happened between her and her husband in the accident. Was it that she's trying to bring her husband back somehow? I kind of got a sense of like maybe like dark magic that she was kind of using somehow that like invoked this kind of spirit to come through.
Yeah.
And as the day goes by, you see that the woman, the woman in black, doesn't really get too close to the house, but is still affecting things inside the house, and she does it through shadows.
Yeah.
So if as the day goes on, when there's barely any shadows because it's middle of the day, she's just kind of sitting out there, and the family's still kind of going out their day. They can't call the police though because the power suddenly went out in their house. They live in this very rural area. It's like a farmhouse that Ramona and David bought and moved their family there to try and fix the farm up.
Is the time period there's no cell phones or nothing?
So there is. But what happened is that Ramona is still very, very depressed over the loss of her husband. So she basically stayed up all night watching videos of her and her husband on her phone. Okay. So when the sun comes up, her son comes in.
Her battery's down.
Yeah, her son Taylor comes in and says, "Hey mom, the power's out. Can you call the power company?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." Her phone dies, and she's not able to charge it because there's no electricity in the house. When the woman in the yard shows up, they kind of figure, okay, there's something up. At first, they think it's a senior citizen who got away from. There's a down the road. Apparently, there's a in town somewhere.
Old people.
There's a retirement community, so they think that's probably where she came from. So I'll try to call the cops. She goes out to her car to try to charge her phone, and the car won't turn on. So now there's a problem. Like, what's going on? Like, is the woman affecting the electricity, or is this something that's going on? They're not really sure. And like I said, the woman begins to manipulate things in the house using shadows. So as the day goes on, you get that time of day when the sun comes directly into through the windows, and there's shadows everywhere. So you can see the woman begin to move using the shadows. So you can see like the shadow figure like moving through the walls.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she stretches out her hand. She doesn't actually move while she's sitting in the chair, but you can see her hand stretching
like
out.
Nosferatu
the Nosferatu kind of thing, manipulating things in the house. The son goes out there and confronts her and points a gun at her, like, "You better get out of here! Like, I'm going to shoot you!" This and that. And that's what. At first, I didn't think that she was going to take her veil off at all. Throughout the movie, but she does. She finally takes her veil off, and she looks like a regular, very tall woman, but she looks like a regular person.
Yeah.
You think she'd be like,
missing eyes or something
like that. Yeah, rotting away or something. Right. Like that. But she looks like a normal person. She's just all in black, and you can tell there's something definitely off with her because of how she's able to, use shadows to move things around. And she tells the son, "What happened to your dad?" And he's like, "What happened? Like, he's dead. Like." He died in a car accident, and then that's when the woman says, "Oh, your mom's not being honest with you. That's what she told you." So you go back inside. He goes back inside, and from the very beginning, Ramona and her son Taylor have tension because he's probably 16, 17. Her daughter Annie is maybe like 10.
Okay.
So he's kind of like. She's in the beginning of the film, you see that she's taking some kind of pills as well. Yeah. And you can obviously tell she's very depressed. She's not able to move well because she's in her legs in a cast. Yeah. So her son is already 16, 17, so already much stronger and faster than her just by the get-go. Yeah. But now she's disabled, so he's able to move around her much more quick. So when he goes out to confront the woman in the yard, he basically locks his mom in a room because she can't move very fast. And he comes back in the house after that woman says, like, "What happened? What happened out there with the? Because you told us that dad was killed in this car accident. What happened?" And that's when Ramona tells the truth. So we get a flashback that Ramona was not happy with what's going on in general in life, and it heavily alludes to her being depressed. So and then her and David have an argument in this restaurant they're in, and he says, we moved our entire family out here to this farm. We bought this farm because that's what you wanted. You wanted to get away from the city. You weren't happy there. So what's going on? She's like, well, I'm not happy here either. And so there's definitely tension in the couple because of that. It seems like Ramona's trying to, because she seems like she's battling depression, that she's trying to find outlets for it or find ways to, help alleviate her depression. That's why she's taking pills. It's medication. Yeah. So it does never says that she's battling depression, but it heavily alludes to that. Eventually, as the sun begins to set, the woman in the yard does get closer to the house, and she begins to. You can actually see her again inside the house, moving amongst the shadows. The family retreats to the attic, and that's when there's not a lot of jump scares in this movie. You see, the woman, she uses mirrors a lot to kind of move around because there's shadows within that. But in the attic, you kind of see this kind of showdown between her and the family, and Ramona picks up a golf club and is swinging it at her, and she kind of disappears, and all of a sudden Ramona's in the shadows herself, kind of pleading and screaming as the woman in the yard approaches Annie, and she has like half her face torn off. So the woman in the yard has like half her face like blown off, it looks like. And you think because she's swinging a golf club, let's hit her with a golf club. And that's what, and she approaches Annie. She says, "I won't hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you." She like embraces Annie, and her son Taylor's like completely frozen in fear. So Ramona has to kind of go into the mirror to get her back. And throughout the movie, as Annie is trying to, kids have like their, have their workbooks, like a picture of a dog, and like write the word dog out. She keeps reversing R's, and at first you think it's like, oh, is she dyslexic or something? And both her mother and her brother, like, that's not how you spell R, right? Like, stop reversing it. Like, that's not, stop reverse. So she goes into like this mirror world, Ramona, try to get her daughter, and she sees her husband. It's the same scene at the beginning of the film where they're both in bed, and her husband's like, "I had a dream. We were at the farm was completely finished, and those flowers that you like were in bloom." And that's the scene she was watching on her phone in the beginning of the film. But here it is in real time. She lays down. She's like, "Oh my God, I miss you so much," and she's crying. It's a very emotional time. And then her husband, it seems like he was in the army at some point. He's got an army tattoo, and she sees that it's reversed. Like the writing is reversed, so she looks around like, what the hell's going on? And everything is reversed as it would be in a mirror, so that she realizes this isn't real. It's either a dream or something's happening. The woman in the yard has trapped me in this mirrorverse, and she has to leave her husband. She has to say, "I'm sorry." It kind of reminded me of like Daenerys in Game of Thrones, where she sees her dead husband and her dead son, and she has to like walk away from them because So she's like she finally finds her daughter, and at the end, as night has fallen on the farm, she tells her kids, "You got to go ahead and go to the neighbors' yards, get out of here." She takes her husband's rifle. Kids take off, and she goes into the yard, and then finally she has the weapon, the rifle, and you see the woman in the yard come up behind her. She says, "Yo, you have no idea how long I've waited for you to get that weapon in your hands." And then the woman in the yard grabs the barrel, and starts to pull it towards Ramona. Ramona's kind of like trying not to. She's kind of fighting her, but she is. And she finally puts the barrel under her chin, and the woman in the yard kind of embraces her and says, just do it. It's fine." And now the woman in the yard's face is not torn up. And all of a sudden the kids come out. They're like, "Mom." And you see that she drops her rifle, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let's go back inside. And then the lights come back on, and everything's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. They go in, and Ramona, this is a painter, so she had been doing painting this entire time. She has like easels of paints, and as the film ends, you see one of Ramona's paintings at the bottom. The R is reversed. Her whole name is reversed, so it's like in the mirror world, and that's when the film ends. So, I thought it was going to be a straight horror film with this like spirit like has been conjured or has been like it's some type of like feeding on the family's energy curse.
Kind of like the Halle Berry Don't Let Go movie.
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of like that, or some kind of dark magic voodoo, something like that. That's what I thought it was going to be. As it turns out, the film is actually an allusion to suicide and depression. Right, so the woman in the yard is actually... Again, they don't say any of this, but they imply it, is Ramona's depression becoming physically manifested. And at some point, when she finally walks out of the mirrorverse, she sees herself sitting in the yard on this woman's chair. The chair is actually in the basement. You see it in the snapshot. It's like in the corner of the basement. So when they go up there and she's kind of fighting the woman in the yard, you see the chair that the woman in the yard is sitting in. It's in their attic. Excuse me, in their attic. It's in their attic. And at some point, she sees herself as Ramona sees herself as a woman in the yard, and she sees herself like asking, like, what are you doing here?
Grieving all in black.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Excuse me, are you lost? And
Yeah.
Ramona says, how did I get here? So it's like, which is what the woman in the yard said.
Right.
So, and then when she finally goes to put the rifle under her chin, you see the woman in the yard like pulling it towards her.
Right.
Like, just do it. Just it's today. And then she says, today's
Let
the
go.
day. You know, she says that to her again. So it's like, today's the day that you kill yourself. Just give in to your depression.
Damn.
Just give in to your suicidal ideations and just end it. You know? So that's what it's actually Ramona's suicide.
Right. But it's manifest. Like the kids could see it.
The kids can see it, so it's somehow manifested itself. But that's the other thing that you don't understand. Now, did Ramona kill herself in the end, or did she survive? But the movie implies that she didn't, because at the end we see a reversal of the letters on her painting.
Oh,
you know, so it's like
in the mirror
it's
world?
in the mirror world. It's like it's a fantasy, like she saw her husband
Right.
originally. You know, so it's like, oh, did she
actually blow?
Did she kill herself, and then I'm at home with my kids and everything's fine.
Right.
You know?
For Inception.
Right, exactly.
Off of what you described, like in my head, I was questioning just now if when they embraced, did they switch places? And
They
then
did not. No,
they did.
but what was interesting was you see the woman in the yards in the attic. Her face, half her face was blown off.
Yeah.
And you thought, oh shit, like, Ramona must have hit her when she hit her with a golf club, must have done that. But then you're like, oh, that's probably what Ramona's face looks like of when she shot herself. Exactly.
Right.
So it's an interesting movie, man. I thought
That's way cool.
Way cooler,
You
dude,
sold it way better than any of the others.
I definitely thought it was going to be, again, just your typical horror film.
Yeah.
And for a while it was, because the woman in the yard is moving into the house in the shadows.
Right.
She has long, like, shadow fingers.
Yeah, I mean, that's all the ads look like.
It actually looked really terrifying in the attic when she kind of imprisoned Ramona in, like, the shadow world, and she becomes manifested, and the kids can see her, and half her face is, like, gone.
Yeah.
And she's, like, moving towards Annie. He's like, Annie, I'm not going to hurt you. That looked terrifying.
Yeah.
That was like the real jump scare of the film. But at the end, you're like, oh shit! Like, this was, is this Ramona's, I guess, you know, afterlife when she did kill herself, and the kids maybe didn't see all this,
right?
Or the kids did see it because her depression.
So she was telling the truth, though. She wasn't going to hurt the kids.
She wasn't. Yeah. So yeah, that's the other thing. She never did hurt the kids, but she did hurt herself, and it seems like she was sending her kids away because the woman in the yard also tells her, you got to let go because you're not going to hurt them. You're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
There's another part where, as the film goes on, the woman, this is before the attic scene when she's sitting out in the yard, the woman, Ramona sees herself stabbing her daughter, and she thinks she thinks for a second it's real. And then towards some of the parts of the film, she's like cradling her daughter. So it's like, is she also having like homicidal / suicidal ideations of committing like a murder-suicide in her family?
Right.
Because she's so, you know, mentally
dealing with
unwell.
depression.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the depression is kind of... So at the end, it seems like the woman is her depression manifested that is now haunting her, who is, you know, literally and kind of figuratively, metaphorically haunting her family.
Yeah.
Because she's so kind of like disconnected from her kids now. At one point, her son is trying to like tells Annie, his sister, like she did something to Dad. You know, she's taking crazy pills. You know that, right? So what happens is so what happens, and we find out what happened with the accident is in the flashback, it's actually Ramona who was driving the car, and they see a truck coming towards them, and she swerves into it. And she ends up killing her husband and, you know, messing her leg up. Jeez. Yeah. So that's the family event. The kids find out that's what really happened. So again, it's like, does she have same kind of homicidal like intentions towards her family because of her depression? And, you know, I'm not really sure if that's how it works, but you know, that's what they imply.
If anything, like you know, depression mixed with guilt of
exactly,
you know, that could turn into who knows what.
Right,
so,
and it's really interesting. Like, so you know, like I said, it seems that she's had issues going back years. Yeah. Because they came at first you think it's like, oh, it's just a family that bought this farm,
right?
And, you know, but it seems like they bought the farm because she was trying to escape something, right? Which is like she's, you know, trying to find trying to find a way out of her depression. She thought maybe this farm could do it for her. So yeah, it really threw me for a loop at the end. You know, I was like, wow, this is not
what I expected
at all. It's definitely psychological horror. I thought it was more supernatural, but it's this family that is, again, literally and metaphorically being haunted by the mother's depression and suicidal ideations, which has kind of become like this real thing, this physical thing, you know. So I was like, wow, man, what an interesting movie. I don't know if they haven't marketed it a ton, and when they do market it, it seems like they are going the supernatural route, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if this is the case or not. This is Universal production, so I don't know if this is the case or not. But maybe Universal was a little like turned off or afraid of the actual themes of the movie, which is suicide and depression.
It's a very heavy, sensitive subject. So.
Well, and it seems like I understand too. You don't want to lead people on the wrong path, and you don't want to tell people like that's going to be the trick of it all.
Right.
You know, it's like you wouldn't show Sixth Sense and be like, and Bruce Willis is dead. You know, like,
that's true.
Yeah, and the entire film, like once you finish the film, you see like there's all these little like crumbs they leave throughout the. Yeah. So when the son Taylor goes out to confront the woman in the yard, he grabs his dad's rifle, which is in a gun safe.
Right.
But there's only one bullet left. Like he looks through all the packaging and all the rounds are missing except for the one round that's in the rifle. Yeah. And when she goes and puts the rifle under her chin, the woman in the yard tells her, "Oh, I know you've been trying to avoid this. That's why you threw away all the bullets except for one."
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like holy shit. You know, yeah. Jeez. So it's like there's all these little crumbs they leave it throughout the film that at the end you're like, did she really kill herself? Or did she? Because it's very strange. Like at first, she has a rifle on her chin.
I mean, like the way you said it, that within the mirror worlds, everything's reversed. That does lead to a lot of interpretation to that ending.
Exactly.
Because it seems like the mirror worlds are like best case scenarios, like the one with the husband.
Right. Exactly.
You know, it's
precisely
the dream world, the hopes that she has.
Right. Precisely. Exactly.
That's rough, man.
And then there's another part where they have a dog. Oliver, I think is his name, and he's cute, like little golden doodle thing, and they like leave him outside. They because it's a big farm.
Yeah,
and you start screaming at the screen.
So don't do it. So like they tie him up outside as a woman in the yard is out there. It's like, why would you fucking do it? You know? And then of course at some point the dog like goes missing.
Right.
And it's just like they have a chain that. His chain, this long like yard chain, it leads to his doghouse, but there's nothing. He's nowhere to be seen.
Right.
And the last thing we see of him is the woman in the yard like extends her shadow fingers out to him, and he kind of like squeals a little bit, and that's we don't see what happens to him.
Right.
And then the family just finds a chain like it's just been cut, and we don't know. There's no body or anything. And I went to go see it with Julie, and I was like grabbing her arm. I was like, oh my god, please don't hurt the dog, please don't hurt the dog. And then at the end of the film. As she's supposedly she puts the barrel of the rifle under her chin, and then she hears her kids outside, and that's when she walks out, and the kids have come back, and oh my god, and the lights come back on, and here comes Oliver the dog, and okay, everything's great, yeah, exactly, barking, okay, everything's let's go inside, and but then the camera pans over and we see the painting of the reversed Ramona, so it's again it's implied like did she shoot herself? I think the film was trying to say that she did kill herself because the woman in the yard again is seen in the attic with half her face blown off.
Right.
And there's all these like little crumbs and things here and there. So it's just like, and it's a weird cut because she sends her kids off with flashlights to the next the neighbors, which are a couple miles down the road. And she's in this tool shed with the woman in the yard, and the woman in the yard is like, it's okay, embracing her like telling her. Now, and all of a sudden she hears her kids and she runs out. She's like, oh, everything's okay. It's just.
Do you? So, Mike, a question. I mean, I assume it's no, but do we stay with the mom's point of view the whole time, or is it through the kids as well? Like,
it's mostly through the mom's point of view.
Because I would say, like, if it was in that situation where it's just from the mom's point of view, what if the whole thing is just purgatory and she's just
that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, that's
over and over.
But we do see, we do see a lot of Taylor's perspective because at one point he's outside by himself, pointing the rifle at the woman in the yard, and that's when she stands up and takes her veil off and tells him like, "Your mom's been lying to you. That's not, what happened. The accident is not what happened." So that's when he confronts his mother about that.
Right.
So there is, so it's weird because again, like her daughter keeps reversing ours whenever she writes it. So it's like, is this entire thing, like you said,
A
purgatory,
fantasy.
Yeah.
or is the entire thing her in the mirror world
Was
going
there
through it
any-
over and over again?
Was there any evidence that the kids were in the car?
No, there's no. Yeah, they none of that.
Because it's
So,
like could be
be a whole family.
all
yeah,
families dead
but
and-
the flashback that we see of the night of the accident, it's just her and her husband.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
I
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a. I would recommend this movie just to go see it just because of because obviously suicide is a very dark subject.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it really like incarnates this
Yeah.
movie. It's just like it's a
It sounds fascinating. I mean,
Yeah,
yet again,
no.
I really wish the marketing was better on it
Right.
because it just kind of looked like your run-of-the-mill spooky movie.
exactly.
Well, how did they market Halle Berry's movie? Was it similar? Like
Which one, Gothica or
no, the one where she's in
Catwoman.
the house.
Catwoman,
yeah, where with her kids, where she's like, "You can't leave."
Oh,
how they
Don't
didn't
Let
they
Go.
market that?
they
kind
marketed
of
it
a
as
similar
a
way?
supernatural, similar thing. Yeah,
so it's like
exactly.
it's weird that these small movies,
Very similar.
very similar,
vibe.
yeah,
vibe,
very much so,
but very
yeah.
heavy topics, and like it's just like they're not getting
Small
the light
casts.
that yeah.
Yeah, because that movie was definitely more of a. It wasn't as.
Because that was more psychological. as
Yeah, it was
well.
more. It was definitely more supernatural,
Right.
psychological than that movie.
Yeah.
Than this. This was more. This was definitely more of a. Try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Mm.
And did this really happen or not? Kind of film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was. Never Let Go is the one that we're talking about.
Yeah,
Holly
that's
Berry.
it, yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely but that film did a good job too of is this real? What's going on with it? Never Let Go,
Right, or is it just in her head?
because her son,
Yeah.
one of her sons, again, it's two kids. One of them begins to question like,
Yeah.
our mother's not well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is her psychological problems that she has, and we have to go. We're running out of food. She's kept us here. Like this isn't. We have to go. And he takes off, and then all of a sudden he sees like, oh shit,
Yeah.
no, there are evil spirits in
Yeah.
the woods surrounding us. So, but he did a good job of questioning up to that point. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I wonder if it's like a beginning of more horror films that I mean, like with the Smile movies as well. Mental health has become a big topic,
Right,
and
right.
you know.
Yeah.
And that being said, BetterHelp, guys. I think we should.
Yeah, let's talk about today's sponsor.
Great lead in. I was going to do it with the Minecraft. It didn't seem to fit.
No, BetterHelp was not sponsoring
No,
us yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if it was, that'd be a good segue.
Yeah.
But yeah, Woman in the Art. It's definitely about a person's mental health
Yeah.
manifesting in a physical way and kind of taking over her family, which is a metaphor for a lot of people who do struggle with mental health, real mental health. It does manifest itself in real ways and does. I don't want to say it becomes a burden, but it definitely affects their family in different ways. So.
Yeah, like this gut of mine.
Same exact
Mental health there.
Same exact thing. Brought to you by BetterHelp.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's a good film. It's a really sad film, and the acting it's not. I have.
And you don't recognize any of the actors?
I Russell Hornsby. I've seen him before and
Okay.
things. He was in Grimm. He was in.
Okay. What's the budget on this? Does it say?
It is at $12 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which it's made 18 in the box. But see, here's the thing. Like, great thing about horror is that a lot of it is very cheap to make.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this
Well,
is just
that's I'm just interested that like that and the Halle Berry film came out in the same year,
right.
Yeah.
And yet again, really small cast,
Small cast,
very
yep.
easy, small, isolated locations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, probably around. I don't know how much the Halle Berry one was, but probably around the same price point, like 12 million.
Right.
Maybe a little more because you're paying for Halle Berry.
Yeah,
True.
Most of it.
But I mean, you have a good script and
Yeah.
then an effects person, and you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Danielle Deadwyler. I haven't. I've seen her before and things, but I couldn't. It's
She's
like
the mom.
yeah, she
in
plays
that.
the mom, and the acting is really good. The two kids are really good actors. They're unknown in terms of. I'm looking at their Wikipedia page right now for the movie. They're not even highlighted. The two child actors.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's
Check
really
their
good.
TikToks.
And then the woman who, again, I'm sorry, I'm gonna Akui. Wow, she's a Nigerian actress. Plays it perfectly, and she has like definitely this look that is she's very tall, and when she has like these very intense
Imposing.
eyes.
Yeah.
So like when she's looking at the family, you're like, oh man, this is it's kind
She's
of
looking deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, great cast. There's a total of 6 people in it, so 5 people in it. So it's just, and it all takes place one day at a house. really well done, man. Really well done. I enjoy the film, and again, I was like, okay, I'm ready for the jump scares. It's just this, but no, it's like at the end of the film, I was like, oh shit, like this is like a whole it's a whole treatise on suicide and depression. Like holy fuck,
do you think we'll get any lady in the yards at a con appear?
Definitely, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Cosplay?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean it's very simple to costume.
Just bring a little stool or bench.
Yep.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Just bring a bench.
Yep. Check it out. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a good recommendation.
Yeah, man. I also Watson, you also went and saw Death of a Unicorn.
Yes.
This is a strange one, man.
I loved it.
Tell us what this is about,
So,
I have an idea what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, Death of a Unicorn is a very interesting, fun little movie. I described it as, because I was trying to describe it to Angel about it, and I was like, it's kind of like Jurassic Park meets. Now I just dropped. Oh my god! Like Death Becomes Her. Like it's a comedy, but it's got some gory elements to it. It's great cast. You got Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd, Richard E. Grant, Téa Leoni, and Will Poulter is in there. And basically, it's Jenna Ortega is the daughter of Paul Rudd's character. They're on a trip to a secluded wildlife reserve in the middle of nowhere that this family own. The family is Richard E. Grant, Will Poulter's the son, and they're very hoity-toity, very rich. And Richard E. Grant has stage 4 cancer. He's about to die, and so he's Paul Rudd's character is a lawyer who's trying to make it in the business. Like, look, I'm just gonna go. We're gonna on this weekend. We're gonna go up to this guy's family. We're gonna work on this deal, and then I will be the family lawyer, and we'll be set. We'll be set for life. That's all he's really worried about, is making sure him and his daughter are set. They go up there. You meet Richard E. Grant, who's kind of this, hippie. He's got prayer beads on, and just, he knows he's at the end of his life kind of thing. And he wants to square everything away and make sure that his family's taken care of, that his business is taken care of. He has a big pharmaceutical company that he runs. Will Poulter is an amazing job by Will Poulter. He's playing this very, just has a lot of, just has been a rich kid all his life, doesn't have any kind of ambition, but does a lot of he's like, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I do all these different things. He's hilarious in this. He just is constantly wants to be in the hot tub. You've got Téa Leoni as the mom, who is just very much oh, I do all this charity work. I think we're doing vaccinations this week, or maybe we're, she doesn't really know what they do. And then, so on the way to this reserve, Paul Rudd's character has allergies. He's sneezing a lot. Jenna Ortega is his teen daughter with acne, and they're kind of squabbling in the car because she doesn't really want to be there. They haven't really connected as a father-daughter since their mother passed away. Their mother passed away a year ago, and then Jenna Ortega's character went straight to college kind of thing. So, but Paul Rudd's no, look, this guy's really into families. He really wants to meet you, and that's how he's going to judge me. So just be normal. Please be normal for this weekend kind of thing. And she's kind of fuck you kind of thing. Yeah. And as they're arguing in the car, and he's speeding along this road to get to the compound, they hit something on the road. They hit an animal. Yeah. And they're like, oh shit. So he gets out, and it's a unicorn. It's a little baby pony unicorn. And you just hear it kind of it's in pain. It's not quite dead. And Paul Rudd's we can't let it suffer. And so he goes back to the car and he gets the tire iron out. Oh, shit. And at this point, the unicorn's horn starts glowing, and Jenna Ortega kind of reaches out and touches it. And she's shown visions of the universe. There's all this she's seeing stars and nebulas and all this, and Paul Rudd just takes the tire iron and smashes the unicorn's skull. Fuck. Then he's just and he's going, and it's the purple sparkly blood is just drenching them both. And so they end up going back. They put the body in the car, and they get back. They get to the compound. He's like, we're gonna go in there quick, and then we'll just excuse ourselves, and we'll go bury this thing in the woods. No one needs to know. And as he goes in and says hi to the family, and Jenna Ortega's like, he goes to use the restroom. So she goes into the restroom, and as she realizes like her acne is gone, like the unicorn blood when it hit her face has completely gotten rid of her acne.
Wow.
And then Paul Rudd's like working on contracts with the family and realizes like he can't see through his glasses anymore. And so he like pulls them off. He's got perfect 20/20 vision.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, that's weird. And he's like, some of the blood got into his eyes, and like his allergies are gone. And so they're General Ortega's like, look, this is wrong. We got to get out of here, kind of thing. She's like, I don't know why. Like since I touched the horn, like I just feel this connection to the creature. Oh, and like Paul Rudd's character is named Elliot, and General Ortega's wearing like a little red hoodie through the thing. I'm like, it's very ET vibe. And you start hearing the ponies in the car like kicking, like it's still alive. Just like,
Oh god.
and the family's getting curious, like what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they all and Paul Rudd, just trying to be like, no, nothing's wrong, everything's fine. We're just gonna take a ride and go to a hotel, And they go outside, and the unicorn like busts its head through the window, and it's like, and the family's like secure. They've like a staff of like 4 people, one of which is I forgot the actor's name, but NoHo Hank.
Oh yeah.
He's in it. He's great in it. And he's like, they have like a couple other people that are like security, and they like shoot the unicorn in the head, just because like it's still alive. And then the family's like, is that a fucking unicorn? Like, and it's like everyone's shocked. And then like Paul Rudd's like, yeah, the blood got on me, and I can't, I don't need my glasses anymore. And so the family's immediately like, we gotta keep this on the down low, because like they're like, maybe we should call it like park ranger or something. Like, no, we'll take it inside. And luckily we have a little mobile lab because we have to examine this thing. And so they start examining it. Richie Grant like realizes the potential for the blood and stuff is like, it's like, oh my god. And like the most like concentrated point of this like healing ability is the horn. Mm-hmm. So they start grinding off parts of the horn and give him a injection of it, and actually cures his cancer.
Wow.
And they're like, we've got the cure to cancer here. I think we're gonna get some Nobel Prizes out of this. And meanwhile, like Jenna Ortega's got like this sense of doom.
Yeah.
Right? And she's just like, something's wrong, she's like, I think we should just take the body and drop it off in the woods and leave. And like, of course, Will Poulter's like, no, we're not talking about the money we can make on this. It's like, we got a limited supply of this horn. People will pay through the nose to cure cancer, right?
Yeah.
So, because it's like the scientist is like, there's no way to recreate whatever this stuff is. Like, we can't just like make a compound in the lab.
Yeah.
And so they start a bidding war, basically. They're on the call, being like, yeah, we've got the cure here. Meanwhile, Richie Grant is like now completely cured. Like, he's looking younger than ever. He's feeling crazy good. He like rips off his prayer beads. He like sits down. They're all eating dinner, and you just see like he's eating unicorn steaks. Like just God. Big bloody, like purple sparkly bloodied steaks. And he's just like he's like, every piece must be, Will Poulter starts like snorting the horn, like like they're just the worst people.
Yeah.
And then you see that this was a fowl. This was a baby, a fawn. Yeah. And there is a mother and father unicorn out there who want revenge, basically, and want their child back. Because Jenna Ortega's like doing research online about like what's the real deal with unicorns, like, and it talks about like in the Middle Ages, like these things were not like the cute cuddly type that we know. They were like fierce feral creatures, and like they would murder everyone. Like there's a bunch of tapestries where people just getting ripped apart by unicorns in there. And so they are like trying to get the baby body out to a helicopter pad to get to the main labs, and these 2 massive unicorns like come down and just start ripping people to shreds. And you know they're fanged. They've got the horns which they use to impale a lot of people. Yeah. They also have like claws, like clawed hoofs, and just it's insane. Like it's so much fun.
Yeah,
and just you know there's a lot of like security guys that just get ripped to shreds, and just like this whole family gets a kind of comeuppance a little bit. So it's a lot of fun, and yeah, and I recommend it. I really thought it was a lot of fun. And,
okay,
that sounds dope. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like silly fun.
Yeah, a lot of silly fun. Like nothing, but all the jokes land, and it's a lot of fun through the movie.
No mental illness to deal with.
No,
it's just straight. It's just a straight slasher.
Straight slasher fun. Like I said, like very like Death Becomes or meets Jurassic Park kind of.
All right, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean and this is something you would recommend, obviously.
Oh yeah. I had a blast. I saw it twice. I was like,
oh really?
Yeah.
So, damn.
Well, I was gonna go see it. I saw it, and then I was gonna go see The Working Man.
You gotta work it, man.
And I couldn't get myself to do it, man.
You couldn't do it? I'm Chad. I'm shocked you haven't.
I've
you go see all those movies.
I know. I've been meaning to go because it did say it was #1 for a while.
It surpassed Snow White.
Not great reviews about it, but
no. I mean, the thing I've read about it is that they should have went a little more zanier with it, like silly, but
like The Beekeeper.
Yeah, but the Beekeeper was great with that.
Yeah.
But like for some reason they pulled it back in this, but I heard that Jason Statham really delivers those regardless. So that's why I was like, I still want to see it. So I think it's still out in theaters. So I'll probably still check it out at some point. I am not sure when. Probably sometime this month. I'm not sure when yet. So we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean it. That movie overtook Snow White.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
I went to go see Snow White. Have you guys?
Hello, no.
Yeah. Did you? It was a date night with Julie. Have you guys seen it?
No.
I mean, it is what. I mean, it's not. I'm sure you guys have heard everything about this film, and I mean, it was the budget. The budget is up to $270 million, not including marketing. It hasn't even made $170 million yet, so it looks like Disney's probably gonna lose over $200 million on it.
Yeah,
I mean this movie's been played in controversy, quote unquote, since it was first announced.
Poison pill for a long time.
For a long time. So I think if the movie had not started off the way it did, with Jenna Ortega getting on some people's nerves, the way that
Rachel Zegler.
Rachel Zegler, excuse me, getting on.
You're putting all your Latinos in one group.
They're my people. I can do that. If it started off with Rachel Zegler not getting on people's nerves the way she did, I think that it probably still wouldn't have done that great. It's surprising enough. Rachel Zegler she's not bad. We all know she's a decent actress.
Yeah.
She can sing. She's definitely she's up for the task of whatever's presented her.
Yeah.
I thought she was really good in West Side Story.
Oh yeah,
which was her big thing.
Yeah. She was good in
Y2K. I recently watched that. She's fine. Unfortunately, she came out and said some things that rub people the wrong way. Whatever. I don't know if this movie would have been successful. Even if it started off, everything got gone right for it in terms of the marketing. It doesn't. Aside from Rachel Zegler, it doesn't look great. It's not.
That was my big. I'm just watching the trailers, going like, "Is this the finish?"
Yeah, man.
So it looks weird.
Everything, like most movies are doing now, a lot of it is shot against a green screen.
Yeah.
There's some scenes that you can tell it's a real woods they use, which is fine. But yeah, most of it is just a green screen set, and then. We've heard this before about the dwarves in it, and yes, they're dwarves. They're not little people. They're dwarves.
Yeah,
in the mythological. They just look really bad, dude. They did the best they could with them. I didn't
because they're trying to do the straight conversion from the animated look.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, of course, we all know what happened with that is that Peter Dinklage had said that it would be not a good form for Disney to cast little people, in that role. And I don't know if to this day we're not really sure if Disney didn't cast little people to play.
There is
quote unquote dwarves.
Initially, when the first teaser or shot or pictures came out, it was a smorgasbord of different like heights and people.
Well, so that they explain that in the film too.
Really?
The multi, a cultural, and there's one little person. There's one little person in this film, and so the shot we saw was a picture of those, quote unquote, dwarves walking through the woods. So they were never intended to be the Snow White dwarves. They are bandits who live in the woods who are out of work because Gal Gadot's character, the evil queen, has pushed their kingdom into destitution because of her
So
greed.
was there initially going to be no dwarves at all?
I think that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Disney was ever like, okay, we're going to cast little people to play the dwarves, or we're just going to do them CGI from the get-go.
Because
it seems like they were. If I was to guess, it would seem that they were not willing. They weren't originally going to cast little people as the dwarves. They were going to make them CGI.
Well, no, because the CGI came much later.
Exactly.
When they because they got such flack for that for the bandits,
right?
And I think they were going to push the bandits as like.
Well, so what I'm saying is, I think the bandits were originally not supposed to be the dwarves. They
were like a red herring.
They were like, yeah. So they're part of the cast, but you can definitely tell because there was a lot of reshoots of this movie.
Yeah,
that they probably scaled back the role. A lot of them don't even have like an actual like line in the film. The actor who is a little person, he does have a few lines, and I think maybe one or two others say something, but the rest of them are. You can tell that they've been regulated, like cut to like the back. There is a part where Snow White like hooks up with them in terms of
she does what now?
Excuse me, like links up with them in the woods because they have to help Prince Charming because he's been wounded.
Yeah.
So but you could definitely tell that there's been cuts that have really put a lot of their scenes in the back end.
Yeah,
so they end up on the cutting room floor. A lot of them. Now, as far as like the actual dwarves themselves. I don't think that Disney's original plan was to have little people playing them.
Right.
I think maybe it was up for like, okay, should we, because we already have these bandits that does have a little person in it, and then
they
Peter
might have
Dinklage
them there on set for scale reference, like for her to interact with someone.
Maybe that I'm not sure, but like I think So then Peter Dinklage said what he said, so then Disney was like, oh yeah, we're definitely not doing it now. So it was like they're probably leaning more towards a CGI thing at the beginning, but then there was like, okay, Peter Dinklage said that. But again, we don't know for sure if he influenced their decision, in terms. So who knows?
Well, I mean, like because that already affected the TV series of Time Bandits,
right? Exactly,
and stuff, and that didn't do well because of that. So I just like that's one of the reasons why. I kind of didn't go see Snow White because I was just like those are 7 roles that could have went to small little people, and like now they don't have that kind of. There's not many movies that like really give that kind of front row seat to them, so it's just like I feel that was a bad move not to, even though it's a stereotypical role, but it's just like it's something for them to be brought back up again. So it's the film certainly they certainly don't help the film. Let me put it that way. No, I'm sure they don't.
Yeah. The CGI is okay on them, but they look rough. Because it's and I think this is a big problem with a lot of live action Disney films is that cartoons, like for example, The Lion King, cartoons can emote more. Yeah. Because they they're basically human faces to an extent, but they're animated. Yeah. So they can, but once you put them in a CGI with an animal that looks supposed to look real, it loses something.
I think the problem is too is it's something we're used to seeing. So like we know what animals' faces look like. We know what human faces look like. I just saw the trailer again for Lilo and Stitch. Right. That Stitch looks amazing.
Looks great, but because he's
he's a made-up creature. And but you can give those, insane alien-looking features, and it works in a CGI fight. But you're right, like anything that we're kind of our mind's eye is
uncanny valley,
you get the uncanny valley.
Yeah, so that's a big problem with these dwarves, and there's something. Eventually, you get used to it, but like there's something off, and it's not that because it's the uncanny valley thing. So it's like you don't, your mind doesn't 100% like accept it. I
Yeah.
suppose is for lack of a better term. So I mean
just
that's
kind of puts you off. Yeah.
right. That's part of it. We all know Gal Gadot. I'm sorry, she's not a great actor. She has a language barrier, so that's an issue. And that's just, it's very apparent in this film.
Yeah.
The whole, what you said earlier, Kal-El, no. There's a part in there where she asks the huntsman, like, who's the fairest of them all, or something like that. And he hesitates and she turns back, like she's sitting at a desk, like a makeup table. And she's like, who's the fairest of them all? And she goes, who is it? Or no, she says, who's your queen? And she goes, who's your queen? And it's just her delivery is just like, I was like, I laughed out loud in the theater. I was like, I was like, oh my God. It was just, it's very stiff. She has that accent that kind of, puts a drag on things. That doesn't help. Again, Rachel Zegler is the light of this film. And I think they made 2 new songs for this movie.
That's what I heard.
And she delivers them very well. She's a trained actress. So you can she's a trained singer. Yeah. She can definitely sing. So like whenever she's on screen, singing, it's the highlights of the film. If everything else is just like,
because Gal Gadot sing?
She does,
has
but
a song,
she does, but it's. I don't know if they did, but it seems like they either replaced her voice with somebody else or they did something to it. Yeah, auto-tuned it somehow. Because it's like, that sounds better than when she's speaking.
Well, I
know what you're saying. Like, a lot of people, when they do sing, you can't hear their accent.
Yeah.
So that, maybe, I don't know. I mean, they might have had, like, vocal, coaches. I don't know, but
Gal Gadot would make a great vampire because she's got the accent.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she could sell that.
Yeah, man. Andrew Burnap, who plays, he's supposed to be Prince Charming. He's really good in it. He's decent. When Rachel Zegler and Andrew are on it, they definitely bring some energy to the screen that is needed. So
that's good.
It's not an unwatchable film, I don't think, but it's certainly.
Put that on the poster, Disney.
Yeah,
it's not unwatchable.
Not unwatchable.
How is Gal Gadot's old voice?
The crone.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, she actually looks pretty creepy as the old crone.
Yeah, I saw a shot of it. I was like, oh, okay.
I'd still hit it.
Yeah.
Hey,
there you go. Yeah, it's good.
Smash.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Smash.
Smash or pass.
Smash or pass.
Yeah.
Well, and especially it's like the last time we saw this kind of storyline, it was like Charlize Theron and Kirsten. What's her name?
Oh,
Twilight.
For the Huntsman.
Yeah.
That's right.
Charlize did such a great job as the
Yeah.
queen.
She was awesome. Yeah,
she brought some great energy.
Yeah.
I see, like that. I felt was a good twist on the story where it was more action oriented and stuff like that, and that's why I was like, obviously you guys are doing the real remake of it, not an adaptation or a retelling. So it's just like you can't really market it basically way that you're doing that because people are gonna be like, oh,
yeah.
That's already
this
been,
is
that's
Disney
already been
trying to
I know,
keep their IP basically. Of we're doing our version of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I don't know how well this film would have done without all the controversy, perceived controversy around it.
Yeah, it just seemed from the jump, it's been in controversy.
Well, and the other thing, man, it's
what
like
a weird thing to be controversial.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
it really got out of control, got kind of stupid. But the problem is that because the budget was $270 million, not counting advertising. So let's say it's $300 million.
It's already on uphill.
So it had to make over $700 million just to break even. Because of the weird math of movie theaters and
movie math.
So it's like there's even if let's say everything went perfect and everybody loves it. Oh yeah, would it have made over $700 million? I doubt it, dude. I doubt it.
I feel like there's fatigue. I mean, like Mufasa didn't do great.
Exactly.
There's fatigue, and I did hear recently that Disney were planning to slow down their live action remakes because there just seems to be this fatigue of like everyone like, yeah, we saw the original already. Like, why?
Well, that's my thing because. Are these remakes for millennials like us, or are they for the newer generation?
Right. I feel like they are for millennials, yeah.
Because it's just like I don't know any, Gen Z kids that are like, oh, I watched Snow White, the original.
No
one's going back in that Disney catalog.
No one's deep diving in the vault.
But I don't know, being a parent, Watson, are you showing those old films to...
I am.
Are you showing the animated first?
I'm showing the animated
good,
first.
Very good. I need a good father.
Got as a gift for Christmas. We got this really great it's a poster with all this. It's a like scratch off movie poster.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like 100 kids movies.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
And so every time we watch a movie, like he'll pick one, and we'll watch it. And
these
after
are
we watch
Disney
it,
movies.
These are all over the
Everything.
board. So it's like we watched the original Willy Wonka movie because it's on there, and he loved it so much we watched it like 9 more times.
He was okay with the tunnel scene.
Yeah. He loved it. He loved it actually. He was like, "Oh, it's crazy." But like we've been able to watch a lot of the old anime movies that way, and you know, like we watched Pinocchio that way. We watched, like we're going through a lot of them. But it is hard because like 2D animation, it's not used now. Yeah. So like none of his shows that the kids shows that we watch now, even on Disney Plus or anything like that, it's all 3D animated. So 2D is a little like it's like how many black and white movies do we go back and watch?
But also,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of animation during our day referenced all those older films.
Yeah.
But I don't see it as much in the newer. There is some. I will say there is some that still do that, but there's abundance, like an abundance of ones that just don't reference any old stuff. So it's like. They wouldn't be interested into tracking it down.
Yeah, and I mean, I hope that this is an uptrend with 2D animation stuff. I mean, like the way we talked about the Looney Tunes movie.
Yeah,
and I mean, we just got great news about Acme versus Coyote being released. I mean, like I hope we see more 2D animation coming into the mainstream again.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I would love to see, because I don't think I've seen many 2D films in theaters. It's been like ever since Toy Story. It's just kind of been 3D.
Pretty much, yeah.
Princess and the Frog was the last 2D animated movie Disney made.
Yep.
I didn't see
and that did not do well. So that's when they were like, because they were going to do like Tangled and everything else. 2D animation, but because Princess and the Frog didn't, reportedly make enough money. They switched everything to 3D.
And now I think 3D is a bit cheaper than 2D, so it's just like hand-drawn stuff that's too expensive.
It's crazy. Which is a shame, dude. Yeah. It's a real shame.
But
yeah, I mean, Snow White, I mean, I can't really recommend it. It's not, it's not a great film. It's not terrible.
Not going to be on your top 10 list of the year?
Definitely not. I mean, if you're a Disney hardcore person, go see it. But it's not, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, as people made it out to be.
Yeah.
It was still.
How was the fall off the cliff?
Yeah. She doesn't fall off a cliff.
I remember in the original.
I don't think she does.
She falls off the cliff.
Yeah, with the poison apple.
Yeah, the poison. No, she just falls asleep.
No. The evil queen.
Oh no, she doesn't do that.
What?
So what happens is at the end. So
spoilers.
Spoilers. So for all the people who are going to see it. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean.
So what happens the queen has taken over. She marries Snow White's father because her mother passes away.
Yeah.
She sends the king off to some mission where he dies apparently, and then that's it. We never see him. So she becomes a dictator of this kingdom, and she's starving her people and basically like taxing them, to death so that she can buy more possessions and whatnot. So at the end, lots of tariffs. Yeah, it's strange. There's a lot of tariff talk in this movie. It's very strange, and for some reason their economy's cratering. I don't know. It's weird. And then, so at the end,
sorry to get ballooned.
Yeah. So at the end, Snow White convinces the guards to turn against her, and it's actually a pretty touching moment because Snow White, you could see her from the very beginning of the film. She's connected to the people, and she grows up around them, and so at the end, she starts talking to the castle guard. She's like, I don't remember the names. Like Michael, I remember you used to love baking, and Sean. I was just like, okay, but like they do it kind of well to the point where it's like the guards are kind of like tired of the queen herself too, so they're like, yeah, fuck this. So they kind of like, there's no violence. They kind of just decide not to fight for her. Chad is rolling his eyes right now.
I'm glad I didn't see it now.
Yeah, and of course. The queen has her mirror who tells who's the fairest of them all and all that. So the queen creates this dagger out of, it looks like glass or something, and she tells the guards to kill her, and that's when she's like, Adam, I remember you used to love to write poetry and all this kind of, look at Chad. And so then they drop the knife, and they're like, "We're not doing that," or whatever.
Ugh.
So then she goes up to the queen. She goes up to her chamber, and she's like she's like talking to the mirror. Who's the fairest of them all? And the mirror shatters, and as the mirror shatters, Gal Gadot begins to kind of like turn, like her skin like kind of burns off and turns black, and she just turns into ash and disappears. Yeah. No, there's no. Yeah. There's no epic battle.
If anything, the mirror should have exploded, and then a piece of glass goes in her neck.
Just shards.
And she just passes out to the ground, bleeding all over the floor.
Now, yeah, because I was in the original, the dwarves kind of lead an assault
Yeah.
to save her.
There's like a
And,
lightning bolt.
Yeah,
and-
But there's a confrontation on the edge of the cliff,
right.
and she falls
off. Yeah,
I think she reaches for the apple, or I forget what it was.
Something like that. Yeah,
But it's
No, in this one, Rachel Zegeder just stands before the queen, is like, "My people hear me." And,
God.
so then they
see.
turn
That's the
against
thing.
her.
People's princess.
If you look back at all the old, or a majority of the old Disney movies, all the villains fall to their death because
Yeah.
they can't die on screen. They could fall to
Yeah,
their death.
Right.
Gaston.
Gaston,
yeah.
yep. Mhm.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Scar.
Yeah,
Scar,
exactly.
yep.
So it's like the fact that she did not fall, I'm very upset.
No, because remember Rachel Zegeder talked about her reclaiming her power. Chad is rolling his eyes.
Jeez.
What you're hearing is Chad's eyeballs rolling back into his skull.
We'll try to tamper that down in the sound.
Yeah, edit.
Yeah, it's it was very anticlimactic at the end. It was just basically her doing a nonviolent protest and overthrowing the queen, which I was like, okay,
Because that works in real life.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Throw
yeah,
Molotov cocktails. Bandana. Do that old
Chad,
school shot.
Chad, we were just talking about Willow. Chad wanted to see a castle fight like in Willow.
Yeah.
It's just like everybody attacking the castle.
Come on, something.
That would have been cool. And the dwarves just in there like
Maybe
George like bearing pickaxes and people.
Yeah, like the huntsman's like taking guys out, and then but Snow White, her power is her voice, right?
Yeah.
So she sings, and then people's faces melt up.
She's Banshee now.
Yeah, she's Banshee or something. Or she calls the animals to her, her aid, and they start
Birds are
pecking people's eyes, and squirrels are like,
There you go. Yeah, she calls all the animals from the
Badgers
forest.
are at
Yeah.
people's nuts.
There you go.
deers, antlers, just digging into people.
The bears just like tearing people
Yeah,
apart.
man.
Yeah, there
There's
you
your
go.
movie right there.
There you
There
go.
you go.
And she has a black bolt powers. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
People's
sorry.
heads
I'm sorry.
that'd be great.
Oh
I'd
man,
see that.
I want to see this movie
Yeah.
now. God damn it. Let's make our own Snow White.
Yeah.
It's in the public domain.
It's public domain. We can do what we want.
So yeah, it's not a movie I would recommend. It if you want to see it, I'd wait until it comes out on streaming.
It'll be out next month on
yeah,
streaming,
probably.
So.
And I would have had the queen. She's taken all the young females from the town, and then when she brings them in, she sucks the youth out of them.
Yeah, through her. Exactly. Yeah.
And then she sends them back out, and you
They're
just
all
see
old and shit,
all the old
yeah.
ladies in
Yeah,
town are
yeah,
actually young.
yeah.
Very young.
That's good.
Ah.
See, man.
Chad, don't put this out there.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
give
I
away.
want
TM,
Disney to know.
TM.
I want them to know.
Don't give your ideas away for
This
free.
is the intro to the Nerdom
TM.
Yeah, Snow White. And we recently saw a extended version of Superman.
Yes.
yeah.
The latest stuff. What'd you guys think of that, man? It looked really cool.
man.
Speaking of movies.
So they put it in front of Minecraft. So I go into Minecraft. The
When I went to
trailers-
go see Woman in the Yard, it was
Yeah, and then immediately went into that 5-minute clip, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, "What? What's
Yeah,
happening?"
me too. I was like,
I
what
was
is this?
like,
Yeah.
because there was no trailer,
Right.
running in the front or anything.
Yeah.
Man, it looked good. It looks good.
It looked
And
really good, dude.
I mean, I watched it online,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But-
where I saw it.
but then you don't see seeing it on the big screen. There's so much detail.
So good,
Oh,
yeah.
imagine.
and the sound is amazing. So yeah, it looks great. It's just a 5-minute little preview.
Yeah.
But it looks great. Did you catch? Sorry.
Go ahead.
So when he gets taken into the fortress
Mm-hmm.
and the robots go and get him, they show Crypto. It's Superman lands in Antarctica and he calls for Crypto. Crypto comes, starts playing with him much like a dog. I
dumping
love
on
that
him.
bit.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
And then he gets him to drag him to the fortress to help revive himself. And you see a group of robots, Superman bots, come out
Right,
to
yeah.
get him, and which are just right out of All-Star Superman comics.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, Death of Superman.
Yes, yeah.
And
and I mean, even they had the robot in Man of Steel, but it was very different looking. Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just, it was like a drone looking
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
These are straight up like 1950s looking robots wearing capes. I was like, that's amazing. But did you hear the recordings that were going on?
No,
I heard,
didn't.
but I couldn't tell what it was.
Oh, what was
So
that?
there's
Yeah.
like Kryptonian recordings, and you hear a woman's voice, you hear a man's voice, and everyone's been trying to figure out what obviously it's Jor-El and his wife and Laura's mom.
I want to say it's Laura.
It sounds a lot like Bradley Cooper's voice.
Interesting.
Oh.
So there's been a lot of rumors that Bradley Cooper might be playing Jor-El. So I'm like, oh, interesting, because it did sound. I mean, especially in the theater, I was like, oh, that sounds a lot like Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And then the robots take him in. They scan his body. They see he's got broken ribs. He's got a punctured lung and all this stuff. And they bathe him in
Sunlight.
intense sunlight.
Yeah.
Like I think they said 5 times normal.
There's a whole bunch of. There's a whole debate online.
Oh,
of people
because
just he shouldn't be feeling pain, and be like, yeah, if your bones are resetting
Right.
at
Of
the
course,
speed of
yeah.
light, that's gonna hurt.
He can still feel pain.
Yeah.
So.
And I like a Superman who isn't completely invulnerable. Like
Right.
I like that he lands in like he's bloodied and
Yeah.
it, like because once you make him like that kind of invulnerable, like you lose some of the drama. There's no.
No, go on.
Oh no, it's just there's no peril then if he ever fights him.
Yeah.
Well, from the trailer now, I've been thinking about it, and I've kind of heard some speculation as well. The guy in black he's fighting in the field,
Yeah.
I think that's Parasite.
Oh,
Because he's one of the only people who could really take his
I
power, and then he's
love
that
Parasite.
hurt
Yeah.
from him.
That's
So I was
interesting.
like, that would be cool. And you have Star Labs in the movie.
Yes.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
the two go together there.
I would love. I always get so bummed out the past few Superman movies. It's like it's got to be Luthor. It's got to be Zod. I'm
Yeah.
like, look, he's got such a good amount.
Yeah,
of
no,
he's got a
great.
tons of
Never
rogues
seen-
gallery. Yeah.
I want Brainiac. I want
yes,
Yes, yeah.
I want Parasite. I want Bizarro. I want all those
Yeah.
characters that Mongol and Warworld and all
Yeah.
that. Just give it to me. Give me all the crazy.
That's why I'm like that's why I'm hoping it's right. I'm
Yeah.
sad he doesn't look purple, but maybe that's just a gimmick at the beginning or something.
Yeah,
before
I mean,
he
I'm sure the suit
takes
gets pulled off.
or something like that. But I hope it's that.
Yeah.
And I love the as he approaches the Force of Solitude rises.
Yeah,
out of the-
out of the-
because
yeah,
that
was
makes
great,
sense
yeah.
because no one can find it
Right.
unless he
Right.
comes near it. So
How do you feel about the Superman shield being like the Alex Ross Kingdom Come one?
I don't mind that. The one thing that's been bothering me is he just looks so young, and the fact that we're 8 years plus in him as Superman, or I mean, he's got the robots and everything. So that's
I
why I'm
don't know
just
where
like,
it is in the timeline.
That's why I'm just like, I think he should be older, right?
Yeah.
but I get it. We're getting
there's
younger.
you want an act. I mean, it comes
Yeah.
down to you want to make 4 or 5 of these movies,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and that's going to take 10 years.
Yeah. So I understand that, but for
we can't get someone to be Hugh Jackman and do
No.
it for 25 years.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm hoping seeing the whole film. I won't.
Yeah.
That won't bother me as much.
Yeah.
But I from the whole thing, I'm liking it. So
Yeah.
we hear Lex for the first time in the
Yeah.
trailer, the new trailer.
That's right.
And he goes, he's back.
Yeah.
So and I'm still a Clancy Brown guy. It's
I
hard
know.
for me to work that into
I like
it,
Nicholas
so.
Hoult. I think he's a
he's
fantastic
great.
actor. Yet again, I get the whole you're investing in a future of like hopefully he's going to be Lex for a long time.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think they learned from Jesse Eisenberg. Don't go too crazy with it.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in what his take will be. But yeah, I do. You want Lex to have that gravitas.
No, of course.
So, but
I think he will because there was that show on FX.
and Billy Zane was just sitting there
I
doing
know.
nothing.
Billy Zane would have been
Yeah, man.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like that's my dream cast of Lex.
Yeah.
But maybe if they do Into the Future, it could be
There
Billy.
you go.
But Nicholas Hoult in what's it called? There's a show on FX where it's like he plays a Russian aristocrat or king.
The Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like there's parts of that personality that works perfectly for Lex. So I'm like, I could see him pulling that.
Yeah.
It's just Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where he takes it. So,
Well, and the funny thing is that he auditioned for Superman and
That's true.
almost
Did
got
he?
it.
Oh,
That's
wow.
true.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they took him and was like, okay, he's going to be Superman's counterpoint. So,
yeah,
we'll cast someone that could be Superman, basically.
true.
But yeah, man, that 5 minutes was excellent. It was a great intro. I'm excited for it, Like,
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
And I hope John Williams' score is not just in the trailer, and it's actually in the movie as well.
Same.
'Cause
Yeah.
that'll win me over regardless.
I want. Now, what worries me on the trailer is we see a lot of the Justice League guys.
Yes.
Like, I want a good Superman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I understand this is a universe that is lived in, and so these superheroes are going to be there. But I hope it isn't too much story into one movie.
No, that's true.
And I think they've confirmed at CinemaCon that it's not the origin story. They said, we've seen the origin story been done to death, so we're just.
Well, I think if anything, it might be the rest of the heroes that we see in the trailer. They work with the government maybe in some way, and then they're interact with Superman, and then something happens where they all have to team up. Maybe, I don't know, or
we'll know in like 4 months. So.
Yeah, exactly. So,
exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Just wrapping up some of the movies that we've all seen here. I recently watched Warfare.
Oh yeah.
Thanks to our friend Justin for he's a big cinephile, so he had some advance tickets. We actually saw this last month, and so I went to go see it with him. It's a new movie by it's directed by Alex Garland, and who did Civil War, and Ray Mendoza, who is a former Navy SEAL. And this film is based on his experiences and the experiences of his fellow Navy SEAL unit. That was this mission took place in November of 2006.
All right, Stan, say your shit about Navy SEALs now.
No,
Get it out
man.
now.
Well, see, I didn't even know it was Navy SEAls. I thought they were going to be.
So from the trailer, there's no hint of it being Navy SEAls. It just seems like I thought they were Marines. At first.
Something like that.
So, it takes place at the Battle of Ramadi in 2006. It is based on a mission that his unit was in, and it says in the film it's based on their memory. So the people who were there. So it's Alex Garland. We went to go see it. Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland. There was a Q&A with them after.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. They both came on. Also, DeFaro Wunatai, who was in Reservoir Dogs, he was in it too.
Oh.
So he plays Ray Mendoza in the film. And so apparently, Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland wrote the movie, and then Alex Garland did more of the technical stuff, which is kind of this is all what they said. This is what they said after the Q&A. He's like, I was just there. Alex Garland said, I was just there, kind of like advising on the technical aspects of like what kind of lenses and how we should, Whereas Ray Mendoza was the one that was actually taking the directorial lead of do this and so a lot of the guys, DeFaro Wunatai is in it, Will Poulter is in it, Cosmo Jarvis, Kit Connor, Michael Gandolfini, which is James Gandolfini's son. They all lived in a house. I think they filmed this in England. They all lived in a house together for like 4 or 5 months.
They all got tattoos.
Yeah,
right?
they all got tattoos of Warfare. And they ended up doing the training. Of course, Ray Mendoza was sitting there. He brought a lot of the guys that were there in the real battle with him, and they ended up training a lot of these guys. It was based off of one of his friends. It was more about his friend's story who lost his legs in the actual battle, and it was based off of him. And so it was mostly Alex Garland said it was mostly telling his story about what happened out there. And so the film starts off with a group of Navy SEALs taking over during the Battle of Ramadi in Iraq in 2006, which was a pretty long, pretty violent battle that happened between coalition forces and what we called insurgents in Iraq, the Iraqi fighters who were resisting the new Iraqi government. And so the film is just basically they take over an Iraqi household with 2 different Iraqi families in it, and eventually they're slowly surrounded by Iraqi fighters, and they eventually realize that there's a group of soldiers in there. They attack the house. They're there's other Navy SEAL units spread out throughout the city, and they all link up at this one house. But unfortunately, the original unit that Ray Mendoza is in got hit pretty hard because they start throwing grenades in through the windows. They start firing in the house. A lot of guys get wounded. So they start to try to exfil, which is, get out of there. They call in a Bradley, and as they're leaving the house in Iraq, a lot of the Iraqi houses have these like very tall walls, and they have like an inner courtyard, and then you have the house.
Yeah.
So as they're leaving the house, they get to the outer wall, and an ID, an improvised explosive device, goes off, kills one of the Iraqi interpreters, and wounds a bunch of the Navy SEALs, including one that like lost his leg. So they have to, and that's who the story's based off of. And now they have to kind of hold it down in this house as they're surrounded, and they have to kind of fight their way out eventually. A lot of the other Navy SEAL groups link up in this house, and they eventually do find their way out of there when they call in more Bradleys. The original Bradley is out there. Again, this is based on their experiences, so I'm not questioning anything, but it seemed a little off because the Bradley pulls up, and the Bradley's an armored personnel carrier. It's got a very powerful gun on it. So it drops the ramp so that the soldiers get in. Once the ID goes off and wounds a bunch of American soldiers, you see the Bradley it picks the ramp up and just takes off and leaves.
It books it.
I'm not questioning whether or not that happened. It just seems unlikely, but it probably did happen. I don't see. Again, Alex Ray Mendoza, he did address this to an extent during the Q&A. He said that it's we were limited by money, so
interpretive.
Maybe it's like what I'm saying is I never saw Bradley go out by itself. It's one Bradley that comes to pick him up.
Yeah,
like they never moved. It's usually like 3 or 4 that moved because of this. Because if it gets hit, now it's on. It's in trouble, and so usually I would assume there'd be. But again, it's the fog of war. I'm not questioning whether or not. I'm not questioning these guys.
Well, I think that's why it's also based
on their memory.
Right,
exactly. So who knows?
Someone could have just been like, I just remember
the Bradley taking off, or maybe one. Who knows? Yeah. So anyway, but it is true that they were wounded, and then they got pinned down inside this house.
Yeah.
More Navy SEALs showed up from from different areas of the operation to link up with them, and they eventually got out
to support.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, it's an Alex Garland film. He did a lot of the technical work on it, so the sound is it's just pristine. The sound is amazing.
Yeah.
They do these 2, which is a real thing that happens. They do the show of force, which means they call in a jet that comes in very low and just flies over the area. And it's just, this is a fighder jet. So it's just like incredibly loud, kicks everything up, all the dust. So it's supposed to, exactly. Exactly. It's supposed to intimidate the enemy. We used it in Afghanistan once. We called in jets to kind of intimidate this force that was hitting us. It tends to work most of the time because it's like, holy shit. Like I
would shit myself.
Yeah, exactly. So they eventually do get out, but whenever that jet comes over, they do it one more time before they leave the house. They call in a show of force as they're moving out to the Bradleys who have come back to take them out, and it's so loud, dude. It's so loud. Great film, really great acting. They picked up a lot of professional actors to play the roles of the real people who were there, so that gives them an extra like oomph, which is really well done. I
wonder how long it took to shoot this, because it just seems like it's a very small window between Civil War and this.
That's a good question.
That's true. That was a year ago it came out. It's an A24 film again, which was also Civil War. But I'm sure it's mostly practical. It's mostly
all practical. So, the jet coming over, you can tell was CGI.
Yeah.
Again,
a quick shoot though.
Yeah, exactly. So again, like Ray Mendoza said, it is kind of hampered by the budget.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like if you think of a movie like this, you think like Black Hawk Down,
right?
Which looks incredible, because they filmed in a real city.
Yeah.
You can tell this was filmed on a soundstage.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but it's very clean. It's like the cities are very clean, which I remember Rocky City's streets not looking very clean.
Right.
So it's but again, they did the best they could. What they had, it's still an amazing film. It's really, the sound is amazing. What I really liked about it was like there was a Will Poulter plays Eric, who's he's the OIC, the officer in charge. he gets rattled by the IED. They all get knocked down, but 2 of the guys get seriously wounded. And so starting from the beginning of the mission, Eric, who's again that's all he does. They don't say what rank he is, but he is the officer. He's in charge of this platoon of SEALs, and from the very beginning, he's very much in charge. Like he's young, so he's a little, not entirely comfortable with the role of leadership, but he's still doing a really good job. After the IED, he just cannot get his head over what's happened.
Right.
And it's like he begins to kind of question himself. He even says it like, I'm fucked up. Like I can't, once another officer shows up from a different SEAL platoon, he tells him like, I can't lead. I'm fucked up. Like he doesn't look like there's anything physically
but
like
it's just shaken,
wrong. He's just completely shaken.
And then he gets impaled by a unicorn. Boom.
Boom. There it is.
A movie it's an A24 universe, baby.
It's come full circle.
You didn't know it.
It's actually the Iraqi insurgents are like unicorns. But yeah, it's one of the great things. The other great thing they did with the film is that in the beginning, there's very little action. There's even very little dialogue. A lot of it is the Navy SEALs just kind of sitting in their sectors, which is like there's a top floor and a bottom floor of this house. So they all move up to the top floor because it's just easier to be able to look out from
like
there.
A Benghazi situation.
Exactly.
13 hours.
13, yeah. And so a lot of the beginning of the film is them just kind of watching their sector. So it's a lot of quiet and it's a lot of just wait. It's just tension and a lot of waiting, which is exactly what deployments are like. It's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of will it happen or won't
right.
that kind of thing. And once it kicks off, it kicks off.
Right.
So it's a really good film. I highly recommend it.
Unless you watch the movie Jarhead, which it never kicks off, and that's kind of the beauty of that movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Jarhead's that's a whole different perspective of is them. It's a very boring film.
Training, and never getting a shot off.
It's a very boring film on purpose because it's just them kind of going through the monotony of everyday military life.
I love that film.
Yeah, Jarhead is exactly that.
I love that film for that reason.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just them, the one time they have a chance to actually shoot, they don't get to take it.
Yeah.
It's so
heartbreaking when you watch that movie.
Because he's been gearing up for this his whole life, and then it's just one moment, and it's immediately taken away from him. And the only time he gets to fire is at the end of the war, and he's just like it's just like celebratory fire. It's crazy. But yeah, it's a great film. Raymond Dozer did an awesome job with it. All the guys that were in his unit at the time came back and worked with the actors and trained with them, and they apparently built the house where they were at as best they could from their memory and the street they were on. So it's all very accurate. It's all very practical. Yeah. I highly recommend it just to. And again, the film doesn't.
That comes out this weekend, right? The 18th.
Yeah, I believe it does.
Oh, really?
April 11th. Excuse me.
Oh,
okay. So there is a. There's not too much commentary on the war itself, which I like. It's these guys just doing what they were sent to do.
Yeah.
They're the Bush administration and the reason for the fucking war, all that bullshit that's not nothing. There's only one part at the end that does make somewhat of a political statement where, again, they've occupied these people's home. It's just a regular home full of Iraqis they've occupied. They don't have anything to do with the war. And it's just these two families. One lives on the bottom floor, the other lives at the top. And at the end, there's blood everywhere. They've been fighting, rounds have been coming into the house. The grenades have been thrown in. There's blood everywhere. Fucking shell casings everywhere. They've made a mess of the house. And as they're leaving, as they're getting out of there, one of the Iraqi family members sees it, and he starts saying to Will Porter's character, like, "Why? Why?" He starts saying in English, like, "Why? Why?" Like that's all he says. Like, "Why the fuck did you come in here and do this to our house?" Yeah. And Will Porter just says, "I'm sorry." He just leaves, and you can tell he's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." And as they're leaving, they order the Bradleys to fire on the top part of the building because they're still insurgents that have been climbing up on the roof trying to hit them. Right. So they just level the top of the roof and they just take off. And it's amazing how they do it because there's just a lot of shooting, a lot of action. They level the top part of the building. They take off, and then it just goes right back to silence. And then you see the Iraqi fighters coming out in the street. They're kind of like poking their heads around doors, like, "Is it over?" Like, "Oh shit," and they kind of mill around, and they're just kind of like, "Wow, okay, well, guess that's it," And they're just this fucking building in this neighborhood is just destroyed, and it's just.
I mean, I don't think that's a really. I wouldn't call that a political statement. It's just more of a human statement.
It's a human statement, exactly. Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. It's the closest. It closest it gets to it,
Like the
Absolutely
song.
Nothing. Exactly. Right. But yeah, it's the closest it gets to any kind of political statement.
I got
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's I highly recommend this movie. There's very few movies out there that are being done by veterans who were in things. I really can't see a lot of movies from Iraq and Afghanistan because they're just so ridiculously inaccurate.
Yeah.
It's just like it takes you out of it. Like if you're not there, you wouldn't know. Like I've seen a lot of Vietnam movies, and I'm like, oh man, that's just great. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure a lot of Vietnam veterans look at like the fuck at it. What is that? You know, that's not. That's stupid. That's not what we do. So I'm sure that if anybody sees this movie sees any other Iraq movie or movie about Iraq or Afghanistan, usually like that's ridiculous. There's
only one that I will watch, and that is Delta Farce with Larry the Cable Guy.
That's probably more accurate than The Hurt Locker. Let's put it that way.
I thought you were going to say actually Delta Force. Because I'd be like, no, that's great. Even though that's not even...
With Chuck Norris?
Yeah. But it's not even...
it's not an Iraq War movie. Yeah.
But I will say the best, at least in part of the movie, the best representation of Desert Storm was the beginning of 18 with Liam Neeson and Charlotte Copley and Rampage Jackson and Bradley Cooper.
I love that film.
I love that movie so much. And I'm so mad it didn't get a sequel.
That movie's so crazy.
I love it.
It's so nuts.
I was like, they nailed it perfectly. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
No one went to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's as far as accuracy, obviously it's there because these guys, and again, they had the actors living together and training together for a long time. So one of the few Iraq films that's actually the only other Iraq film that I like that's just like, okay, that's great. There's only other one film about Iraq that I really like. It's called The Lucky Ones, and it's about a film that does not take place in Iraq, does not mention the name Iraq. It's just about a group of returning soldiers. Great movie. It was made at the height of the Iraq War, too.
What about Hot Shots Part 2?
Hot Shots Part 2 is a Vietnam movie, I believe.
No.
Kuwait movie.
Kuwait movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
But they do have the Saddam guy in there.
They have Saddam in there because
that's the first
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the first
goal for. It becomes the T-1000.
Before my time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, highly recommend Warfare. Go check it out. It's an intense experience. So, yeah. And then we recently watched some trailers.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Predator Killer of Killers.
Yeah.
And Tron Aries. Killer of Killers is being it's a Predator from the Predator franchise being released on Hulu. Looks like it's a group of vignettes of the Predator hunting warriors in different I can't tell if it's the same Predator. It doesn't look like it.
It looks like different designs.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's more like you said, like an anthology, like a group of stories of like Predators through the years.
Exactly.
Hitting, because we see feudal Japan. We see like a World War II air battle.
Yeah.
We see a Viking village.
So it seems like they were something Norwegian. Something
right.
Yeah.
Like Viking. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me, and I know the comics, they get into different like breeds and iterations of predators and stuff like that, which is cool, but it's just like
don't fuck with the formula.
No, I mean I don't.
The original design is so good.
No, the original design is great, and I did appreciate the look of the one from Prey, because I was like, they got to start somewhere where they develop their technology. And stuff
right.
Like
yeah.
But through that vignette of different predators, the one I just did not believe was the dogfight one in the airplanes.
Oh, the shaved head one with the eye patch?
Yeah, it was like a weird like version that was like...
You talking about the World War II one?
Yeah.
And they look weird. It looked like it's hunting them in the air, yeah.
Yeah, but also it's just like... it doesn't have projectiles, it just has a harpoon thing.
Yeah.
I was like...
I thought you were talking about the Predator dog from...
Oh, no.
I was like,
no. Not that. But it was just like, I just really didn't... That didn't meld. Like, I was like, you're getting too crazy with it. It's
right.
Like there's hunter ones. There's I could imagine there's different ones like that. But like,
I thought it was an interesting take on it because it's I guess they would have airborne hunters as well. Hunting in the ships. It's something we've never seen before.
No, and that's cool.
It looks like they don't mean to discover the ship. They just hit the. It looks like the not Spitfires, the Mustangs. Hits the ship, and you see it glitches the
that could be it too. Yeah.
Well, but it's just part of it's just like, these predators or hunters, like that doesn't seem like that same vibe. Like, oh, I'm in an airship and I'm not.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, because it's not up close and personal.
Yeah, I don't know. It just isn't. It's a
get
disconnection that's out there.
I get because I mean, by the looks of it from the show, like if I was a showrunner, like if every episode is, the formula being Predator lands on Earth, Predator takes on different style of hunter. Like I know you gotta like switch it up a bit, so maybe like okay, we gotta do like one episode of them in the air or something.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of them looked like they we're holding one, and it's like we're testing you to go fight it.
Oh yeah.
It felt like that. Like they all had to, because there was this big giant one. I was like, okay, that's interesting. I guess.
That kind of reminded me of the one from
the Predator.
Yeah.
It was just.
Yeah, I don't. And I know it's canon. I'd like it not to be the last Predator movie, not Prey, but the
Super Predator,
Super Predator, Dog Predator.
Well, like I do find it interesting they use DNA from their kills to evolve, but it was just like you need to explain that a little bit better, or like through multiple movies. You can't just do it in one movie.
What? Yeah, they just
like I thought they just wanted trophies. They don't. They want the DNA to be like
It's okay because autism was going to save the day.
I mean,
that was our superpower.
God. And like, because it makes sense because they use technology for all those types of vision to see like thermal,
infrared, and all
that. So it's like, okay, they want to see better because all they could see is red when they're not. And I was like, well, explain that. Don't just like throw that at me. Like I'm supposed to believe that's what they've been doing all along. That's the reason behind all of this, all the hunting. Like no.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shane Black. I love you.
And
you
Fred
have to
Decker.
explain yourself.
And Fred Decker.
Who wrote it. Fred Decker. I love you, Fred.
No, it was a friend of the show. We love you. Guys.
Thank you for being on.
Yeah, thank you for being on.
Thank you.
Past and future.
I'm not trying to trash it.
Yeah.
I was just disappointed.
I think a lot of that had to do with the studio also meddling with things.
They wanted something new.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't connect Jake Busey's character because he is actually the son of Gary Busey's character in the movie too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you didn't do anything with that.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean it's I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
I just had a brain gasm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alan Richardson as Dutch's kid.
Interesting.
For a sequel.
Alan Richardson, huh?
Just thinking him versus a Predator.
I mean, they have. He just came out in The White Lotus. His actual son.
Oh yeah.
Resembles him. He's not as big, obviously, but that would be.
I was thinking
interesting.
a big dude, so yeah.
Yeah.
He shows up in that hover jet from True Lies. Somebody call her. Things are about to get hairy.
But Alan Richardson would be interesting too. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Yeah. Huh.
Throw it out there.
Yeah.
Or take us back to the Predators planet because Adrian Brody's still alive with.
He's still out there.
He's still out there somewhere. Yeah, he's still out there.
After Brutalist, give us another.
Bro, fuck all the people who didn't like that movie. That's such a great movie.
Predators? Yeah, Predators is great.
It's a great fucking film, dude.
Hey, I was initially a hater, but I came over to.
I think it's one that aged like fine wine.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest Predator movies for sure. Predator 1, 2, Predators, amazing.
Yeah,
amazing film.
Agreed.
Yeah. And then of course Prey, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then we're still getting Badlands as well, or Predator Badlands.
That's still
that's coming out this year as well.
Yeah. I also think though this animated show is a cop out to not do those other movies.
That's what I was thinking too. Is like looking at all that. Like
I think so.
That's
those would be great.
That's a lot of story that they're just going to do in like a 20-minute episode or whatever.
Yeah.
Or what? I don't even know what format it's going to come in, like shorts or.
Yeah, who knows?
There's
no 20 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, there's haven't been any explanation on that.
Yeah.
And we watched the trailer for Tron Aries.
Yes.
Watson
Tron,
is a huge
baby!
Tron fan.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who we had, Andre Bormanis. He worked on the previous Tron show.
Yeah.
We had him on the pod.
Yep. Worked on Uprising.
Yep.
We talked about that on the podcast.
But yeah, you're. I think you're. I know. I'm not a huge Tron fan. Chad, I don't know how much of a Tron fan you are.
I mean, I'm not, but I do like the universe that they've built.
Yeah, greetings program.
Yeah.
Are you one that fights for the users?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I actually no. I was rooting for David Stern, right? Is that his last name? Shoot. From the original movie.
Yes. Warner. David Warner.
Yes, David Warner.
Yeah.
I'm on David Warner's side. So
you want to hang with the MCP program?
Yeah, man. Imagine. And then the Moses
Master
thing
Control program?
Is that what cuz I only know it.
Yeah, I speak Tron, baby.
I call it Moses because South Park spoofed it, and that's
they made a giant dreidel.
Yeah, and
God, so funny.
So is that's what the MCP is?
That's the MCP. Okay. Yeah. So
I need to rewatch the first one because the first one went over my head a lot when I was younger.
It's funny because it was it's in the infancy of computers, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's named like they have a character named Ram, because they were like, we need computer terms like MCP and like and it's very interesting how far we've come. Like where now it's like we have like kids coding.
Now. No, that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so the days where you could have simple like computer hacking stuff, like even like the movie Hackers.
I mean, it's weird now they can do. I wonder, like, since we're in a world with AI now, like if this new movie has to do with that, and
I mean, it's so. I don't know how much of Legacy you remember.
I never watched the show. That's
right.
So I
mean the movie.
Oh, the movie. Oh, so I mean, I remember at the end. Olivia Wilde and Garrett were like, she went to the real world. She got
out into the real world.
But then she was also like kind of restoring hope to the world or something.
Because she was the first actual like artificially created intelligence. She was a program that wasn't written by Jeff Bridges' character in the real world. She was formed in the program. I wonder if we're going to see her at all in this movie. It doesn't look like. We hear Jeff Bridges is in this.
Yeah.
We hear his voice in the trailer. We get everyone's favorite celebrity, Jared Leto, in it.
Yeah.
Who I don't know who he's playing.
Jared Leto, I heard because he's such a character actor, he actually lived inside a computer for 3 months.
He sent floppy disks covered in cum to all this castmates.
Oh God. No, I don't hate Jared Leto, but like sometimes he just overdoes it. Like he was great in Blade Runner 2049. So it seems like a similar vibe.
Morbius, come on.
I mean, well,
come on, come on, Jack.
He's straight up digital Morbius in there.
I mean,
you know you like Morbius, dude.
It's not his fault though. I won't blame it on him. I won't. But I think though his character is like related to. Wasn't there like an evil company people in the second one? Yeah, they were trying to.
It was the Enron, which was the same, or Encom. Sorry,
that's a different evil company.
Encom, which was the company that had the original rights to the games in the first movie.
So maybe like the grandkids of those people are trying to take the company and do a new, and then they release
him
or something like that. But like Jeff Bridges' evil character in Legacy dies.
He
dies.
The evil version, the computer version. Yes.
Okay.
He gets derezzed.
Okay. So I'm curious.
But it looks. I mean, this movie looks like most of it seems to be in the real world.
Yeah.
And it looks like a lot of the computer programs have made it somehow. To the real world and are trying to take it over.
Feels very Digimon, which I like.
So I'm excited. I mean, like some of the scenes you're seeing, like F-18 jets versus the flying.
I don't remember what they're
sky
called.
Bikes or whatever they're called, but it looks cool.
What's the one that's like the weird?
Man,
like
recognizers.
Recognizers, yeah. I love that just coming into frame from
behind a building,
the tall like kind of rectangular structure that like derezzes people.
De-resolution.
So I kind of wonder like, because in the trailer, Jared Leto's character is saying I'm looking for something. So I'm wondering if he's looking for Olivia Wilde, maybe like if she never came back, or or
and I don't know why they wouldn't announce her casting if she was in it. But
maybe it's like a secret
Maybe.
thing, or we'll see it in the credits, and it's for the home afters.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a post credit of her sitting down.
But the fact that it's named Aries, I was like, it's war. Maybe it's war on the real world. Or something.
That's what I figured.
So I'm I don't know. Yeah, it should be interesting.
I'm excited though. And the big news being the soundtrack is because of course Daft Punk retired, so they weren't coming back for the sequel, but they got Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, and it sounds great in that film. I was like, ooh, because it has the same vibe. Because that Daft Punk that soundtrack is so good. And I was like, how are you gonna top this? And of course it's like we're just gonna like grungy it up a little bit.
This is for the second one you're talking about, right?
Yes.
That came out 2010.
Around there.
I knew I went to school with one of the girls that came out in that, Bo Garrett. It's real nice girl. But then I saw her in that. I was like, oh shit, good for her. She was also in Fantastic Four.
I didn't bring this up when we were looking at trailers. The Naked Gun trailer.
Oh yeah,
yes.
That's ridiculous.
I am so pumped for that.
Does Seth MacFarlane have something to do with this?
I think he helped produce.
Okay, makes sense.
I don't know if he.
I know
I don't think
him and Liam Neeson.
Yeah, 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah,
and then he was in an episode or two of.
We haven't had slapstick comedy like that in a long time.
Yeah,
probably since 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah,
in the West.
Yeah. But I mean, this one is like, they're going OG with it.
Yeah, right.
But probably with a newer feel, because like I love I was speculating the whole time because I remember when I heard inklings of this when it was first being made. Oh, he's playing Frank Drebin's son.
Yeah,
and then I heard it was going to be a complete reboot, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard he's still playing the son, so this confirmed it in the trailer where he says,
I think his name is Frank Drebin Jr.
Yeah,
so it's like it could have been a reshoot.
Because if anyone remembers Naked Gun 33 and a Third, he has a dream sequence where he's got like a little kid version of himself, and the kid's got like white hair and in a suit. It's hilarious.
I was gonna say because Liam Neeson is a lot like he's pretty close to age of what Liam Neeson.
No, exactly. So I mean, I think he's a perfect choice for it. He could play it just straight the whole time.
Yeah.
It'll work.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
That's the key to that character is everything he does is serious, even though everything is ridiculous around him.
Yeah.
And since he's older now and doesn't want to do action, I really hope they fall into the gag of replacing him with stunt doubles to do like the weird flips around the room and stuff. So like I really want them to go like the old school with it. So,
yeah. I would love to see a callback of like the baseball player from the first Naked Gun movie.
Oh,
going like at some
was
point.
it Reggie Jackson?
I think so.
I think it was.
Try to kill the queen.
Yeah. So there's so many things they could do with that.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited. I mean, like you're right. It's been a long time since we've had.
Yeah.
Maybe Pedro Pascal will be a Montalban's son or something.
That'd
be awesome
idea.
to see.
My father, I hate parades. He's.
That was a good Pedro, by the way.
Yeah, it was a good Pedro.
I wasn't even trying. There we go.
There you go.
There you go.
Man of 1,000 voices.
That's Chad.
Make it 1,001 now.
That's right. And Chad, you checked out the new Lazarus anime?
Yes.
How'd you think of that, man?
I saw the trailer for that. I think you posted a trailer a while ago, and it looks great.
No,
yeah,
it visually looks amazing and stuff. It's just this first. They only put one episode out for right now, and
it's the makers of Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
Right.
The Shinichiro Watanabe is the creator of Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, and Space Dandy, and right now it's on Max to be watched from Warner Brothers, and there's one episode, and it kind of just this whole first episode is kind of just a setup, really,
right?
So no story really gets to progress, and they display a lot of the action in this one because how it is Lazarus is the team being brought together to find this cure for there's the story is a Dr. Skinner. He created this drug. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's called Hapna, and it relieves all pain, and you'll never have to worry about pain or any ailments again. And so everybody's been taking this, and then apparently he disappeared ever so long ago, and he's reappeared, and he's sent this video out to the world saying, we're such in a terrible place right now. I think my drug wasn't just for healing. It's also got this other clause to it where anyone who's taken it after a certain amount of time, you will die. So
fentanyl.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, in a sense. But so Lazarus is trying to. It's like if anyone could find me, I have the cure, and it'll be But I think it's all like from this episode. I think that this might turn into is a ploy of I'm making myself the bad guy to bring the world together to be because we're just so messed up now that we're just not thinking.
Need a common enemy.
Yeah, common enemy. So I think that might be where it's going to lead to. But for right now, it's they just the main character. I don't have all the names because I just watched it, and all the characters aren't in my head. But Axel Gilberto, he's the escape artist he's like the last one they're recruiting for Lazarus, and he escapes from prison. So it's this long chase. He gets out of prison, and it looks fantastic. A lot of parkour and martial arts mixed together. He escapes the prison, and he's in the city. And the team kind of locates him, and they kind of corner him, and then they pretty much capture him, and that's the episode. So it's not a lot of story development there.
Right. It's a tease.
It's a little tease just to what to come.
Yeah.
But I was looking into it because I will say I don't think some of the voice actors found the character that they were playing immediately because the delivery and some of the lines were not, like, it's very kind of bland and just, I don't know. Like, if you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about because there's some...
Is there a sub and dub version, or is it
not
just
on
dub?
Max? It's just dub right now, but I saw online there is some Japanese version
that might
available,
be better,
and it might sound a little better.
Yeah.
But for right now, I mean, I did read someone who got to watch like 5 episodes of it already. I guess they get a early copy or something to review.
Yeah.
They said after around the 3rd episode, they kind of find the placement, and it's not as clunky
Stilted.
with the dialogue because it's really the dialogue that was a little weird. Like one of the characters is in a car and he's listening. He's talking to his radio and he's like, "Play me something." I don't know. It was a very metaphorical line that he delivers, like that the devil would forget. I don't. It was some weird like jargon that you'd hear, and like it's too deep of a thing to hear right off the bat because at least Cowboy Bebop, you get the aesthetic of the world, and it's kind of very.
Maybe it works better in the translation. Maybe it's better in the original.
Well, that's the thing. I heard in the Japanese or the sub one where the subtitles are still English, so it's still going to be the same dialogue.
Yeah.
But you'll hear it. It sounds, obviously the delivery would be better in Japanese, but it was just a weird way that was delivered. And there's sort of a matter of fact dialogue, like when she meets Axel in prison. It's like, "Oh, I'm here from," and she's just she's explaining herself, and that doesn't. It was more tell than show, really. And I just like. So I'm hoping I'm gonna give it to the 4th episode just to really pull me in. But I am intrigued by the story. It's just the voiceover has been like throwing me off a bit. But everything else, the music, action, awesome stuff. So
that's good.
I'm gonna try to keep up with it, and you'll see where it goes. But,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it sounds interesting. I'm interested in seeing it too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And then before we go, Spider-Man 4 has gotten a new name. It's has a new name attached to Brand New Day. Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Hopefully, we're all wondering what that means.
It's a famous storyline in the comic books. I doubt we'll see Mephisto show up in the movie.
Yeah.
I think it's more of those things of they just take the title like they did Age of Ultron and all that.
Yeah.
And like get away from the home titles that they had for the first 3 movies, like Far From Home and stuff. So,
do you think Kingpin will be in it?
Oh God, I hope so.
Because I heard recently Vincent D'Onofrio mentioned that his character can't appear in movies because Sony has the rights to Kingpin or something. And I'm just like, well, that was the fact with Spider-Man. So I think they might
I
finagle
think
that.
they're playing a lot nice.
And maybe
so.
maybe he's just saying that to mislead us now, so we don't expect him to be in the movie.
Well, I mean, it's interesting too because obviously we one thing that happened recently too was the listing of names for the not Secret Wars, but Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. They released that 7-hour video of just chairs.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
It was so weird, but no Tom Holland on there.
Right.
And part of me is like, I hope he's not. I hope we get more grounded, street level Spider-Man.
Well, apparently
movie.
it comes out after Secret Wars 4, right? Spider-Man 4 comes out after Secret Wars?
No, Spider-Man 4 is supposed to come out next year.
Oh, I thought it was like after one of the bigger things.
Maybe after Doomsday, before Secret Wars.
Oh, yeah, after Doomsday. That's what
okay.
It was, after Doomsday.
So maybe he's not going to be in the first part, maybe in the second half part. I don't know. I mean, I hope he's in Secret Wars because then you get the black symbiote suit if you're going with the comic.
True.
Which would be sick.
No, that'd be awesome.
It'd be a great way to introduce that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know what Brand New Day could just be like, look, we're not getting Ned Leeds back. We're not going to get, I don't Zendaya in it or not. I don't know if she's been confirmed.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not many people have been.
Yeah, so it is kind of like a big fresh start with the character. So,
Do you think we'll get a Norman Osborn?
God, I hope so.
I really do. I mean,
but
they already had him.
They just did him, and Willem Dafoe still looms large in everyone's mind. I think.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard to recast.
Well, if anything, I think they could do. He's more of the scientist part of it, or the corporation part of it, and he leads to villains.
Yeah, kind of like what they did with the cartoon, the Amazing
Spectacular Spider-Man. Yeah. So they could go that route, and then eventually he'll become the Goblin, just as a finish off their trilogy or whatever.
I don't know.
They're doing.
I mean, like Tom Holland's now. How old is he now? Almost 27. Something like
26, I think. Yeah.
I think he might be. It seems like they're going towards a reset of the universe kind of thing. So maybe they bring in a new Spider-Man at that point. And maybe that's when you introduce a Norman Osborn after this storyline is done. I don't know. Or maybe you go straight to Miles Morales.
Or true. Or you could do Ben Reilly if they do a clone saga.
But then you just hiring Tom Holland again.
I mean,
exactly.
Just gonna paint blonde his hair. Yeah. He's like, damn it! I thought I was playing a different character.
Well, no, you would get someone that slightly looks like him, so you'd get Timothy Chalamet.
There you go. There you go.
He'll be the
that would actually. I would like
Scarlet
That'd be
Spider.
interesting. Yeah.
So
cool. All right, man. Yeah. Interested definitely in that, and can't wait. Before we wrap up, just some housekeeping here. We will be at Pasadena Comic-Con May 24th. So it's a Sunday, just one day convention. We'll have a small booth along the Artist Alley, not quite as big as we had ours the year prior.
The size doesn't matter. It's content, baby.
Exactly. It's the motion of the content.
Exactly, and we'll be there shooting our content all over the crowd.
All over the crowd.
No. Well, let's not use shoot.
No. We'll be soaking our crowd in content.
Yeah.
Drenching
pink
them.
slime, obviously.
Exactly.
What else would we be doing? May 24th.
Keep it warm and sticky.
May 24th. Come check us out. It's a one-day con. We'll just have small giveaway items, and just say hi to us. And then the big one is June 6th. Starting at June 6th, it's Nostalgia Con out in Anaheim. That's going to be a big one. And that's a 3-day event, so come see us there. We'll have a much larger booth for that one. So we're still cooking up different ways of how we're going to utilize our booth.
Also, walking around and at both cons, you might your back might be a little bit hairy. So I will we'll crack your back for you. Give it a little bear hug action to crack your back if you need.
I thought you were doing waxing.
Waxing?
That's
no.
what I thought you were doing. I was like, what are you hairy?
No, you're carrying around.
I thought you said hairy too. We're doing waxing at the booth?
No waxing, no waxing. So we'll crack your back, do a little.
I don't think we should be touching.
Well, no, they'll sign a waiver.
Oh, they'll sign a waiver.
Okay,
all right. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah,
they gotta sign it first, so we can't get sued. We don't.
Yeah, exactly.
If I squeeze too hard in there, I can't feel my legs. That's the problem.
We're not licensed chiropractors.
Definitely not.
But who doesn't crack their siblings' back every now and then just because they need a little Straighten up.
Yeah.
Straighten that.
But consent matters.
Yeah, consent matters. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we'll record it.
Yeah.
It's documented.
And we're still trying to order the Dunkin' Chads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You'll get a crackback and then Chad's 8x11, like a little autograph.
Yeah. And then you get to throw balls to dunk them. Yeah. So Friday, June 6th through Sunday, June 8th. So it's a 3-day con. I don't know how usually with like these 3-day cons, Friday is, usually it opens later and it's not as
it's
big.
like the warm up phase.
Yeah,
Everyone's
exactly.
just
So
milling
obviously, Saturday and Sunday will be the big day. So, but we'll be there. I'll if we won't be there, I'll show up Friday and start setting up the booth. You want to come say hi, and we'll definitely be there Saturday and Sunday. So come out, say hi to us, get some free merch if we should have some like cool stickers and pins. So come out, say hi to us, and we should have some water too to give out. So,
and bowl of candy.
Bowl of candy like we
get
did
that
last
sweet
time.
tooth.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have a couple giveaway items, so raffle items, I should say. So yeah, come out, say hi to us, and
a T-shirt cannon.
And had a T-shirt cannon, yeah.
So we'll have
close range,
a lot of shit, but it's going to be fired in close range. So.
It's filled with buttons. Just shoot buttons. It's a shotgun basically. Just built a shotgun.
Just shooting at shrapnel and shit.
Who wants a bunch? Boom.
I mean, you'll definitely remember.
We left the pins open, so it's easy to put on.
Exactly. You'll definitely remember us. So take us out, Chad, if you would.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. If you aren't already, please subscribe, follow, comment,
rate, review, please, and on your little podcaster grabbers of choice. It does help us and helps us know that you guys are listening and paying attention.
That's right.
Yes, and as we always say out here. In Enter the Nerdom, what we say, what we all say.
What do we say, Chad?
We say, enter the Nerdom, exit the mines. The mines. There we go.
Flint and steel.
Flint and steel.
I don't know what that means.
Chicken jockey.
Chicken jockey.
Oh, no.